Oh, I need to switch the camera around. Oh no, no. Dang it. Is this camera not plugged in? There we go. Yeti, good. Okay. Hey guys. I don't know if anyone can see this or is watching, but I'm still setting some stuff up. So if you're here, hey. Nope. Nobody is here, just me. Oh, hey. Severus826. Welcome. Unfortunately, I've completely forgotten again what your username stands for. Is it Dev? Hey. Whoa. You got some noise going on. I'm going to just mute you for a quick sec. Oh, and you jumped off. All right. Martin. All right, Martin. I'm glad that you're here. Sorry that I never remember your name. Well, I mean, I remember your name. I think I know your last name even. It starts with a W. But I just don't remember the username. So sorry. Alrighty. Trying to just make sure everybody's got all the links they need and stuff. Yeah. Yep. I think we're doing pretty well. Who else is here? Anybody else here? Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm glad I got the W right. Looks like it's just you and me right now. I'm sure other people will be joining in a sec, but I don't know. What do you want to talk about? How's your day going? Let's talk about that. All right. I feel like I have to monitor all this stuff to make sure we're tracking. But I think it's actually overall going pretty well. Just making sure that there's no like last minute emergencies. Oh no, Josh Phillips can't go. Dang it. Poor Josh. Salma though is going to be here soon, I'm sure. Yeah, the Irish Nathan won't be here. That is sad for sure.
Hello.
Hey, Salma.
Can you hear me well?
I can, yeah. The quality is much better.
Okay, cool.
Welcome, glad you're here.
Hey, thank you.
Martin, I'm honored that you would stop sleeping in just for this. That is, wow, that is really cool.
It's 6 p.m. here, so it's not that bad.
That's good. Okay. Yeah. Martin in the chat, he's saying that he woke up just for this and would normally sleep another hour or two. Oh, that's probably because it's Saturday. Okay, I get it. All right. Yeah, so we might as well jump into this. I feel like I need to like send out more announcements or tell people more or something, because I feel like I haven't, but I think I've sent out all the announcements and stuff. Let's see. Posts. How is it in Egypt, Salma?
Yeah, it's cool. It's going pretty good.
Cool. My computer is like working so hard to keep up with all the things I'm asking it to do right now. I think it's a little bit freaked out. Let's see. So how is it to be back in the lyric critique rather than the lyric hero workshop? I feel like
it's a bit experience. Weird. Yeah. It is.
Let's see. Hey, there's 4 people watching. You guys need to reveal yourselves. Oh, and Martin, you work evenings, so that does make sense the Saturday. Oh, you're in Canada. Okay, cool. I'm glad that it's been pretty nice for you. It was like 61 degrees on Thursday, so I went for a long run. That was really, really nice. All right, just setting up the last couple of things here, and we'll get going. These are the people. Devin's
I can't see any announcements, like not on Facebook. don't see one. Okay, I see one in Discord, but I can't see one on Facebook.
Okay, I can see it on Facebook in the songwriters group, but not in like the overall Patreon group.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm feeling pretty confident at this point, and we have a couple more people here, so that's cool. Devin's here, so what more do we need? That's perfect. All right, good stuff, good stuff. So, pulling up the document that we'll put all the lyrics in. Devin, how's your day going so far? Glad that you could make it. Cool. Man, my computer really is freaking out. It's having a tough time today. Come on, little computer, you can do it. Alrighty, so we've got Devin. Devin just woke up too. Man, you guys, you gotta get more sleep. I don't know. All right, well, cool. I'm glad that you guys are. It sounds maybe you are getting enough sleep. Maybe you're pretty happy with this. All right. So today we've got lyrics from Lydia, Trevor, Sophia, Jeremiah, Colby, Nathan, Salma, Nicola, Rico, Tyler, Devin, and Martin, Katie, Christopher, and Jessica. So those are the lyrics that we've got, which is going to be awesome. And we're going to go ahead and start with Martin, because I guess you were like sort of technically here first, so that sort of works. And then we'll jump into Devin's lyrics, and then we'll jump into Salma's. See what's up. All right. Very good. All right, time to screen share. There we go. Alrighty. Hey, Rico, welcome.
Hey.
Glad you can make it, man.
Yeah.
You don't sound so excited. You get enough sleep?
I just woke up too.
You and everybody else in the chat. That's great. I'm glad you guys are getting enough sleep. Tyler, welcome. All right, so basically the way this works, we've got a quorum now. Basically the way this works is whoever's here, we jump into their lyrics, and then we keep jumping into other folks' lyrics. In the chat, every once in a while, I have a question for you about, if you have any suggestions for improving the lyrics we're looking at. And then if you're in the video call and you see something that you're like, hey, I want to say something, or if you're in the chat too, just go for it. Today we've got, I think, 15 different unique lyrics from people to go over. So we're going to be marching on through and see what happens. So, yeah, if I don't say anything to you guys in the video call, I'm not ignoring you. I probably will say stuff to you, but yeah, if you see anything, just say something. Just go for it. Live your best life. Rico, what's your excuse for just waking up?
Going to bed late.
Yeah. I slept in a little bit today too, because I was up late too. Okay, so this first one is Martin's song, and his song is called Or You. And the story behind the song is actually, it's from February Jams. It's a satire of shallow love songs written by disrespectful men. Nice. Okay, that's cool. If those of you who don't know, January Jams, or Jams in general, stands for Just Another Monthly Song, and it's an event put on by Salma, which you basically just put out like a topic, and then everybody can just write about the topic if they want. So there's like a Facebook event for it and stuff, which is pretty awesome. So that's cool, and it looks like it's in this month's theme was satire. And then I asked, what are 2 things you want help with in your lyrics? And he says, nothing. I just hope you laugh. Well, let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm already laughing after the first verse, and that was not an insincere laugh either, because he just goes for it. All right, so we've got those eyes give me butterflies. Those thighs will be my demise. That skin just draws me in. That chin tempts me to sin. There's only so many girls in the world with that body, oh so few. So I want you, or you, sister. So I love so picky, so discriminate. He's got very specific taste. That bottom causes me problems. Whoa, so you've got it's not uncommon. That physique makes my knees weak. That cheek is not unique. If I were making a list to assist myself or who I want to screw, I'd write you and your mother. Oh my gosh. I guess that kind of makes sense if the mother has half the genes of the child. Which reminds me of Jesse's Girl, the song. The only thing I'll talk with you about is sexuality. I'm already horny, so I don't need your personality. You got the special features that I like. You're one in a dozen. And if you, your mom, and sister turn me down, I'll take a cousin. That is the best line. That is the best part of the whole song so far. That is so great. Guarantee you'll be pleased with me. If you're not free, I'll check the family tree. Your stuff just treats me rough. If you're tough, family is close enough. Must be something in your blood that's flooded my desires view, because I want your sister, your mother, your cousin, your aunt, maybe even your grandma or you. Okay. What is happening? That's so great. Where is Martin in the chat? Let's see what he's saying. Okay, he hasn't said anything yet, but that is so great. Oh wait, yeah, that is. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. I love the fact there's some really good rhymes in here. The dozen and cousin, the sexuality and personality is great, but like that line, you've got the special features that I like. You're one in a dozen, not you're one in a million. No, you're one in a dozen. I don't. It's like because yeah, you're satiring these shallow guys, and they might say like, oh yeah, you're one in a million 1 minute, but the next minute they found somebody else who's one in a million, and yeah, maybe it is more like one in a dozen. It doesn't take much for a desperate guy to hit on somebody. And I love how it just starts to like spiral out of control. Like I feel like it's going kind of slow at first, and like there's some good lines, but then it's just like, oh my gosh, there's like your sister, yeah, because we have sister in the chorus, and then it gets into mother in the next chorus, and then in the bridge it's cousins, and then down in the chorus ending it's the grandma. That is so awesome. All right, well, that is. I don't really know what to say, but I'm really enjoying that. Thanks, Martin, for sharing that. We will respect the fact that you don't necessarily want help with these lyrics, but why would you want help? They're perfect already, so good job.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember this one. I've read it and I just kept laughing and like face palming and going on. It was like really funny, to be honest. It's too disrespectful, but it's
the definition of satire is that you have to be disrespectful. So it works out well. Oh man, that is rich. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. Part of me doesn't want to. I just want to read over this a couple more times, but here we go. All right. Next up is Devin. All right. So in Devin's, that was a really good way to start. I'm glad I chose Martin. All right. His song is called Addict. I shared this one before, but the song is about my mother. She's been an alcoholic all my life, which has resulted in a lot of hardship for me and my family. My younger siblings being born with FAS, but now she's in the hospital again, unable to move on her own. She's destroyed her body, and I find myself wondering whether I'm really losing a mother or not, as I've never known her sober for more than a few hours at a time. The song reflects the thoughts and emotions that run through my mind when I think about losing her. Super powerful. And I'm really sorry to hear that too. I know that that's not easy at all. So the two things that he's looking for help on is, number one, making sure the images presented make sense and help tell the story. Should I add more, change something, or take anything out? And then two, without that background, would someone be able to understand what's going on? I've struggled most with using images that make sense to others, and I want to make sure it works here. So that's something for anybody in the chat to comment on. Just as you listen to it, we'll kind of turn number two over to you guys, and maybe in the hangout if you guys want to say something too. But he says, without the background, the explanation, would someone be able to understand what's going on? That is the big question. So you guys in the chat, that's your responsibility. Alrighty. So what's left for me to say? Your poison has filled my veins. What's left for me to love with venom inside my lungs? What's left for me to love, I really like that line. What's left for you today but just to waste away? I don't know what I've lost. I don't know what I've lost without you. My mother had a secret tucked away behind her regrets. My father held her hand. It was all too much for her to stand, and I sat alone in the corner, doors locked and no end in sight. And I'll never understand why you couldn't make amends, and I'll never apologize for not enduring once again what you've done to me in my home, what you've done to them, why you've left us all alone. Because I never had it all, never had it all. I open the door sometimes to find you there, no wounds to hide because you've let yourself bleed again. Blood red liquor floods my head. I open the door sometimes, eyes shut. You've lost your mind. I hope that I can pull you back. Bloodshot eyes like the windows cracked. One more push and you'd give. But we've pulled you up again and again. Wow. I feel like that line really hits home, though. We've pulled you up again and again. And I don't know why I tried. Maternal love escaped my sight. If I could bring you back to me, I don't know who I would see. What's left for me to say? Your poison has clogged your veins. What's left for me to love? Your son's embrace was not enough. What's left for you today but just to waste away? I don't know what I've lost. No mother to pay the cost. You weren't there to help me through, and I don't know what to do. An addict has a cost. An addict is all I've lost. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh my God.
I probably reacted similar last time you shared it, but like I feel like that line right there is the absolute, just, it's a powerful way to end the song. It brings the story to a conclusion, and that's absolutely insane. Really, really good job on you've just got some really solid lines throughout. So you were talking about the images and whether it all makes sense. And maybe some folks in the chat will have something to say as regards that. But I think that I personally feel like the images do, like it makes sense. Like I don't know if I could tell the exact story, but I understand that like it's a mother, there's alcohol involved because you mentioned the liquor. We know that it's an addiction. We know that she's not well. We know that the relationship is hurt. We know that it's hurt the whole family. And I think that on a first reading, those would be the things that somebody might easily be able to pick out. So if that's your goal, I would say that you've got that. But does anybody else have any suggestions for any way to make things clearer, or even think that it should be clearer?
Actually, I think it's pretty clear because also your poison has clogged your veins.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, and the venom inside my lungs. I mean, I think it's pretty clear, and yeah, I've got chills reading the last line.
Yeah.
The last two lines. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and I'm really sorry that he's been through this.
Indeed. Looks like Martin confirms that it makes sense too. So that's 3 votes yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me too.
Yeah, Rico's on board too. Perfect. So concerning the images presented, makes sense and help tell the story. Let's do a quick scan. The poison filled the veins, definitely makes sense. The venom inside my lungs makes sense. Now, when I think of lungs, I start thinking of like cancer, particularly of smoking. So if I was thinking of an addiction and I didn't hear more of the song, I would maybe start to think cigarettes. But I don't really think that that's an issue because you develop the liquor angle well. My father held her hand. I think that's a really important image to have. There were no images in here, I thought, that were unnecessary or extra. Adding more images is always a great thing for the most part, but the bloodshot eyes like the windows cracked says a ton. Eyes shut, you've lost your mind. Honestly, I don't think that lack or excess of image is really a problem for you. I think you've done a really good job of that. And you've done a good job of like largely using those in the verses and then really using those choruses to hit home on the theme. The big suggestion that I would give you is I would just say that there's a couple of lines where the rhymes either feel a little bit too easy or they seem to be maybe the result of a cliche. And cliches definitely are a spectrum thing. And so you might have somebody might have like a really long song and they have 10 cliches, but it's such a long song that they kind of get absorbed into it, and it's not that big a deal. Somebody else might have a really short song and might have like 5 cliches, and even though they have less, it's a higher percentage, and so they get noticed more. So there's a couple of points where I would just say like go through and ask yourself, is there a way that I can say this more uniquely to me? So there's a couple of lines. Just to waste away what's left for you today but just to waste away. It's a little bit of a cliched line on that last part, and the rhyme is thus a little bit easy. Never understand. Done to me. Actually, I think there might be fewer than I remembered on the first read through. Maybe you've lost your mind. That's not even that big a deal. Maybe what's left for me to say. Honestly, yeah, maybe I jumped on that a little bit too quickly. There were a couple of lines that I noticed at first, but really it's not too bad, actually. I would just say maybe this stanza has the most potential for cliches in it, and principally the first and the last lines. So that's the advice I've got for you. He says she was also a smoker and smoked inside, so I suffered from secondhand smoking. Okay, so that lung full of venom does make a little bit more sense than contextually. I wonder if so it makes sense for you when you sing it. You have, and a lot of singers will do it either way. You just have to question whether you want to put in a detail that's not fully explained to your audience. You can, and it's not a big deal, and you don't have to, and it's not a big deal. It really comes down to what you want to accomplish with that line. So, great job, Devin. That was powerful. That really was. And thank you a lot for being willing to share something like that with us. I know that this caused a lot of pain in your life, and I'm glad that you feel comfortable sharing with our group here. All right, next up is, you guessed it, people, the one, the only, Salma. All right, so Salma, your song is Sea in the Sea, and you want to just go ahead and tell us the story behind your song?
Oh God. Well, it's about God, and it's to God, about God, I guess.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm really nervous about this because, yeah, I've never talked about how I'm like, how religious I am. Like, I am really religious, yet I'm so not religious, and it's I guess I'd like you guys to read it first, then maybe I'll just,
Sounds good.
Okay.
Won't talk to you as they do. I can't, even if I wanted to. You will listen because it's you. I'm shaking, but here I go. 3 shades of blue in the heart of the sea. One up, one I'm in, and one underneath me. Up a light shade of blue, the one I'm talking to. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see you. Never heard you, too. Not the glasses' fault, though. In that clear, salty water, the blue is cooler, a friend in summer and a killer in winter. Moving my legs and arms to keep my head above, though I'm in water, I've never seen a dove. It's tempting to go under to the darkest shade of blue, but they've told me you get mad when people do, from water to the sand and the bottom land to the fire that awaits them when they fall off of the band. Help me see, please, if you're here. Answer me in any way. Sorry, but is it me, or did you play favorites? The ones you've talked to are not here anymore, but we are, yet you don't. You don't say hi. You've never said goodbye. We whisper, scream, and cry, yet we get nothing. I get nothing, so please, if you're here, help me see, for I need you to be with us in the sea. Salma, that is really, really good. I think this is, okay, so I'm familiar with a lot of what Salma writes because she was part of the Lyric Hero workshop that we did recently. But as a songwriter, like, this is a huge step in a different direction for you, because a lot of your songs have been like very narrative based and very like story focused, but like you've got this really awesome central metaphor, conceptual based, like glimpse of a moment song going here, and you accomplish it really well. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love the concept of like being in the water and having the 3 different shades that you move up and down through. Man, okay, cool. So what do you want to tell us about it? You don't have to tell us too much if you want. I think the lyrics do, in a large part, speak for themselves, but what would you like to say?
Yeah, there are parts, I don't know if it's a Muslim, so there are like few words that may not make sense. I don't know if it will make sense to other religions. So especially like it's tempting to go under to the darkest shade of blue. I'm talking about dying, and it's tempting to die faster or like sooner than I should, aka suicide. So, but I know that God, people tell me that God gets mad when people do. So I go from the water, which is life, to the sand and the bottom land, which is like it's, you know, under the dirt or whatever, and maybe in the bottom land there is like fire, which is hell. And basically they say when we die, we go like we have to like walk over this rope band thing. So if we like went through this safely, we'll go to heaven, but if we don't, we're going to trip and fall to the to hell. This is basically what it's like, how it's going to be at the end, in the Islamic religion. I don't know, but yeah. So this, I know this, like the fall of the band may not make sense to people, but I know it will make sense to like people who have the same religion as me. But I wanted to keep it a bit vague because like this stanza, I wanted to talk about like how it's tempting to kill yourself, yet you know, like God will get mad. So like why, and especially like I feel like he's playing favorites sometimes. Like every single one have talked to God or have seen God is not there anymore. Like the prophets and the people who, like, I don't know, like it's all just all about ancient and ancient stories and old stories. Yet we feel sometimes like, I feel sometimes like he's not there, and yeah, I want him to be, and I want to believe in him, and I kind of feel like we need you here. So like just show us yourself, or just like give us anything to. So yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. No, and that's even more complicated and deeper than I was thinking at first too, because I think I definitely I might have felt like some of that vibe towards suicide, but I don't think I fully understood like the depth of what you were going for with that. So that's awesome. Yeah. And I'm glad that you pointed out that there are a couple of lines in here that won't make sense to everybody. So if I do reference something that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, you can just ignore me.
Okay.
Now, you said that the two things you were looking for help with is, you said, it's the first time I write a song with no obvious structure. So does it work? Yes, it does. Can it be recorded as a song or a spoken word? For sure. Number two, I speak to God through the song, but sometimes it can seem as I'm talking about him, life and death, not to him, though I do talk about God, but to God himself. So my question is, do the lyrics come off as confusing? And honestly, I would say that if you wanted to develop like the suicide part of it and wanted to make that a deeper, more important part of the theme, you could probably do that a little bit. I think that it feels like the suicide is mentioned, the one underneath you, and it's tempting to go. It feels like this is really like the suicide stanza. And so it's like there for a moment, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you have to know how it'll come across to people. I would say that is not a problem at all. The one, unless you wanted to like just develop that a little bit more and let that be a little bit more of a thread throughout the song. There are a couple of parts that are maybe a little bit grammatically confusing or like syntactically. So won't talk to you as they do. I can't, even if I wanted to. You will listen because it's you. I'm shaking, but here I go. 3 shades of blue in the heart of the sea. One up, one I'm in, and one underneath me. That stanza is completely fine. And I'm just reading it out loud because it's easier to catch them. Up a light shade of blue, the one I'm talking to. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see you. Never heard you, too. Not the glasses' fault, though. Okay, so this line right here, it sounds like you're going to do some sort of like a trailing off thing with the though when you do put it to music or when you present it. Otherwise, that the lack of rhyme is a little bit like if you want it to be jarring, you've succeeded. Otherwise, the lack of rhyme is a little bit of jarring. The same with the I don't have my glasses on. The one I'm talking to. Oh yeah, so never heard you too. That line, when it's heard, like reading it, we don't have a problem because we see the 2 O's. But when it's heard, will be a little bit harder to understand what you're saying there, whether that's like TO or TWO or something. So you could do, so I can't see you, never heard you. And I think that rhyming you and you would not be a big problem there. And that would probably keep it a little bit simpler, and it wouldn't have that confusing extra word.
Okay, yeah.
In that clear, salty water, the blue is cooler. A friend in summer and a killer in winter. Moving my legs and arms to keep my head above. Though I'm in water, I've never seen a dove. Let's see. Okay, so this is probably one of the references, because I'm thinking like with the Christian religion, doves are like a big deal. They've been used as like a symbol a couple of times. Is there a significance to why somebody would see a dove while in water?
Yeah, and again, because water is like the life that we're living in right now.
Yeah.
Because the sky is God or heaven, and underwater is death. So water is life, and a dove in Islam is like it's a huge deal, and like it's peace and love, and it's a good thing. So though I'm in water, which is like where doves could like be seen, like because it's life, and
yeah,
I'm talking about like why I haven't seen any peace in life.
Gotcha.
Though we are humans, and we should have like been nicer to each other, and I should have seen good things in life, because why else we're here? But I haven't seen anything peaceful and anything really nice in this life so far. So
gotcha.
Yeah, this is what I'm
so okay, so when explained, the metaphor definitely makes sense. I think the thing that confuses me then is just when you say, though I'm in water, I've never seen a dove. I think you're mixing metaphors here. So you have the water metaphor, which you've spent a lot of time developing, and it's really strong. And then you have this dove metaphor, which is more an allusion to Islam or into religion in general, right? And to peace. But doves, I think it makes it sound like doves are something we're supposed to see when we're in the water all the time. So like if there was a story in Islam or in the Quran that was about somebody who was in the water and saw a bunch of doves, like then the reference would make more sense. But as it is, it feels like the dove comes out of nowhere.
Okay, yeah.
So you could either talk about the dove more and like build that up earlier, or something like that.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Answer me in any way. Sorry, but is it me, or did you play favorites? The ones you've talked to are not here anymore, but we are, yet you don't say hi. You've never said goodbye. Yeah, this portion right here is super powerful. I really like that. And then this last year, for I need you to be with us in the sea. Yeah, I love how you bring it back to the metaphor at the very end. It's like you've been setting up this metaphor, this like the whole time, and all of a sudden here's like the punchline. It's really good. Yeah, that would be the advice that I've got for you. The rest of it sounds really, really good. And it looks like a lot of people have been saying this stuff in the chat too, so hopefully that's helpful as well. Yeah. All right. Any questions or anything else that we can speak to, Salma?
No, that was really helpful. Thank you so much.
I'm glad. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Rika, did you?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I'm Christian, and even though you're Muslim, I connected to the song as well. And one thing that I sort of liked about it, I'm not sure if it's like this with regards to Islam, but like a lot of the religious songs in the Christian religion are like, especially nowadays, like God is good, hallelujah. Like there's like nothing that speaks like doubts or negatively as much as it relates to God. So yeah, I think you accomplished that in your song really well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you too, Rico. That's really, really well said. There's not enough honesty in a lot of religious music. There's just a lot of trying to put on a good face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of Rico, it is time. And Tyler, we'll do yours next. All right. Rico, we've got your song is called My Heart is a Star, which I'm really intrigued. That sounds really interesting. What do you want to tell us about your song?
Well, if I can remember what I all said, most of this song was written all the way back in 2016. I had only recently come across this Holy Written song. I was looking for inspiration going through my notes app because I usually like write lyrics or songs in my notes app, and then I just save them for later. And I came back across it. The only thing I didn't really like was the chorus that I had written originally. I had another chorus that I had written I didn't know what to do with, and I thought it worked well with the song, and so that's how it came about.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really interesting. Is it based on like a personal story or something?
Yeah, I believe around this time I was thinking about a girl that I liked who I thought was losing interest in me, and so the song's about that.
Okay. Very cool. That is a ancient and classic inspiration for a song. So I am excited to see what you've got. Let's see. Okay, so in the request for advice, you mentioned cliches, advice for how to replace cliches, plus any advice in general. If you wanted to look at the original song's chorus, which would then change the title to something else, here's the original chorus. Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind and come take a look at that in a sec. Good stuff. All right. If I could wish upon a star, I'd wish to be right where you are. I'm sick of chasing rainbows for the one that got away. What's wrong when ending up alone? What's worse than ending up alone is seeing how much you have grown. If I could fix my heart that's torn, I'd do it all today. It's as if destiny isn't wanting to play a game or play games, but I would wait for you even out in the pouring rain. If my heart was a star and it shone in the night, would you try to be brave, and dance under my light? Because I'm starting to doubt that we're made for more, so please don't just walk out the door. Because I'm starting to learn that I don't shine alone, and I'm becoming scared of what is unknown. So disengaging my fears, let me know where you stand, and please don't let go of my hand. My heart is a star, and I'll shine wherever you are. They say I should just let you go, but if they knew what I know, I may feel led on by you, but I love you anyway. I'm sick of hiding how I feel because I thought we could be real. It's like the love scenes all were cut on a rom-com holiday. Reciprocated feelings concealed by anonymity, but romance isn't always found in close proximity. I like that. That's fun. I miss you more on sleepless nights when stars don't give me as much light, because the way your heart shines so bright just won't make our connection right. Gotcha. Okay. I gotta say, I really like this stanza right here. I feel like it does an excellent job of like summarizing and bringing everything together. If my heart was a star and it shone in the night, would you try to be brave and dance under my light? And I really, really like that. It's very, very tight. The rhymes are strong, and it's a very simple, innocent, sweet question. So I think that is off to a good start. I also really like how, okay, so wishing upon a star is a cliche, but because you jump into it right away and you just tackle it head on, you are basically saying, you know what, I'm going to make that cliche better. And so I think that is a really, really cool line and a good way to start, actually. So good work on that. If I could wish upon a star, I'd wish to be right where you are. The one that got away, I'll go ahead and underline a couple of cliches that I think you could probably stand to alter a little bit. Also, your rhyme scheme is solid here because you've got AA, and then you've also at the next stanza you've got AA, or I guess BB, but then each of these tiny stanzas has a last line that rhymes with each other too, so it gives that sense of unity. So good work on that. I do it all today. I don't know. I feel like that's maybe not so much a cliche, so I'll italicize it, but I feel like that could perhaps be a little bit stronger. Just partially because the word it is usually so vague. So if you can give like some noun or adjective that shows us what you would do. I know you mentioned that if I could fix my heart that's torn. Yeah, but like deeper than that, like what does that mean on a deep level? But I would wait for you even out in the pouring rain. I would say that that's probably a cliche that could maybe use a little bit of rethinking. I get what you're saying there, but I think that probably there's a deeper way to say that. Honestly, because the rain's just not that bad. Please don't walk. Okay, don't just walk out the door. I would really like, yeah, okay, so ask yourself, because I think this one particularly has a lot of potential. I like to look at cliches as just opportunities for a ton of potential, because I feel like don't just walk out the door means something very deep to you, and it either means, you know, some specific action that she took where she didn't respond to your texts, or she stopped coming to an event that you two used to like going together, or it could mean something even more deep where it's like she rejected you because you really like Star Wars or something. I don't know. But like usually there's like a cliche stands for something, and it stands for something physical, some activity or event that happened. And a lot of times it also stands for some emotional reaction. So I feel like touching on that there might be a really way to like strengthen that. They say I should just let you go. Anyway, I'm sick of hiding how I feel because I thought we could be real. It's like all the love scenes all were cut in a rom-com holiday. The pre-chorus too, I really do like that. The anonymity and proximity. And made for more. I don't know. That's a cliche that I'm a little bit torn on, because I like the way that it rhymes with door. I like how the whole stanza right there works well. But it is a cliche. So if there was something that you could do that would be better, great. But if not, it's not a huge one. Where you stand might be one that I would suggest altering a little bit. Just, you know, what do you mean by that? And get a little bit deeper there. Yeah. And I'll just say one more, and just maybe heart shines so bright, because hearts are just organs. They don't literally shine bright. And so I'd be curious again to hear like how you go deeper on that. So yeah. And I think that the point with cliches is not to say like, oh, they're completely evil, we got to get rid of them. But the point is to say, how can we use them well? And sometimes using them well means not using them. Sometimes it means revising them. Sometimes it really means leaning into them, like with this, where I felt like you pulled that off really well. And overall, I think you're onto something really good here. So concerning your other chorus, I'll go ahead and read that out loud. You said, I'm tired of being patient for what's already moved on, out on a spring vacation because I can't believe you're gone. They say nothing is impossible unless you stop believing in it. But I believe in us, so what will it take to surrender the split? Now, there's a couple of lines, maybe like the surrender the split is a little bit confusing, and I'm not quite sure what spring vacation has to do with it. But honestly, I really like that as well. I don't know if it's a better chorus or a verse, but honestly, it might make a pretty solid verse. So I wouldn't just throw that chorus out just yet. I think that's definitely got some potential. No. All right. Well, any questions or anything else that we can help you with?
I think you got it covered pretty well.
All right. You don't feel beat up on for a couple cliches?
No. The only thing that's hard, and I'm not sure if it's like this, because right now when I'm looking at the screen, like I see, is it Thelma? I don't see any of the lyrics.
Oh, you don't see the lyrics? Oh no. Oh, can you click on there should be like some boxes in the bottom right corner. Can you like click on the one that's me? What is happening?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, weird. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. Let me kind of reset some stuff. All right. Who do you see now?
Still Salma.
Still Salma. Did you does her box look like you maybe accidentally clicked on it or something?
Like click at the middle box.
Hold on. Up there we go. I see you now.
Nice. Okay, good. Yeah. So the good news is that you can always pull up, like we're recording this whole thing right now. Yeah. So you can always pull that up again later and take a look at all of these. But I'll just go ahead and skim through them real quick for you. So there's the one that got away, out in the pouring rain. Trying to scroll the wrong thing. Don't just walk out the door. We're made for more. Know where you stand. Heart shines so bright. So, yeah, and like I said, that's all going to be saved on the live stream, so you can go check that out at any point.
Okay.
Cool. Well, hey, good work, man. I'm excited to see how that continues to grow and develop for you. Obviously, if you've been working on that song since 2016, I can definitely sense like that's very important to you. And it sounds like a song that I'm guessing you probably want to like keep working on.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Tyler, you are up. All right, so Tyler said, oh, Nicola tried to join, but then disappeared. How sad. Well, if Nicola does come back, oh, it looks like Tyler had something to say for you too, Rico. He says, very rad, solid structure, and I feel like it could be catchy when recorded. I think that's really apt. I think that's a good description of it. All right, so Tyler's song is called Memories. It's about wrestling with faith, and the things he's looking for help with are ways to keep some of the lyrics from sounding boxy. It is some mix of rhythmic spoken word and song. I don't want it to come across boring by the flow the lyrics make. Really, I'm new to the game, so I'll take any feedback I can get. Haha. Sweet. Alrighty. So here we are. So we'll just take a quick read through it. We'll consider the flow. If anything feels boxy, we'll mention it. And then we'll just give whatever advice we have. Nicola, is that you? I think Nicola is here. Oh, well, Nicola, when you want to say something, go for it. All right. Fondest memories when I met you in my youth, and when I first saw you, I knew we knew the truth. You entered in my life for sight, and we already knew. If soulmates are real, then we had found the proof. Nice. Okay, I really like that. It's tight. It's well put together. It makes sense. I feel like there's an extra syllable here. Maybe if you got rid of had, if soulmates are real, then we found the proof. Then we had found the proof. I don't know. Something to play with. Let me go. I want to see. I want to know. I want to breathe. I found you. No, you found me. I am the seed. You were the tree. No, the cloud. You watered me. It blossomed up. You set me free. I reach up high with withered leaves. I knew you would never leave. Okay, the thing you're doing really, really well here is you're using a lot of very concrete, tangible imagery, and it makes it very easy to connect and to imagine mentally, and I think that's awesome. So good work there. When we embraced, I couldn't stop crying. I looked into your eyes, and I know you locked into mine. I let go of my past and left it all behind, set my soul searching, not knowing what I'd find. Best friend, and then more than I could ever imagine. I was idle on an island of my own. Idle on an island. I want to say that 15 times because that's really fun to say. Isolated from hope, and you became my idol, and always remember you saved me. Okay, we need to read this again. Best friend, and then more than I could ever imagine. I was idle on an island on my own, isolated from hope, and you became my idol, and I'll always remember you saved me. Wow, I really like the sound alliteration or the sound correlation there. That's some pretty dope stuff. Though I do well, and I'll always remember you saved me. I feel like I really want it to end on something that goes with this pattern of idle, island, isolated, idle, isle. So it feels a little bit weird that it trails off at the end, but not a big deal. And there was that day I wanted to die. You were my comfort as I broke down and cried. More than the words was you by my side. You asked if I was good. I looked at you and I lied. I tried to walk away. I told you I was fine. I felt you stick around while I tried to hide. Tried to shut you out, but I still felt you surround. I was in an ocean and my ship was going down. Your voice in the background is why that I didn't drown. I found my harbor inside of your heart. Yours was soft while mine was still hard. Oh, I like the rhyme of heart and hard there. Kind words in time tore this apart, rebuilt me inside out so I would know who you are. But this heart within me is a wooden vessel that tends to turn away when my thoughts begin to wrestle. I set sail for what I want and empathize with the devil. Ooh, I like that. Empathize with the devil, and the vessel wrestle devil, rebel. That is good. This stanza is gold. It's pretty G. Because he is a scoundrel. Oh, and I'm a rebel. And aren't we the clay trying to tell the potter who we are and where we shall wander? I feel like the rhythm's maybe a little bit off right there. You captained my ship. I called you my father, but I have cut my anchor now. I drift away in the waters. Alone and I wander through darkness, collapse, capsize my faith, and haunted by the past. Decisions I made traveling the wrong path. Now disaster awaits. Oh, this breath is my last. This treason was a mistake that I couldn't escape. I had no reason or excuse to take advantage of grace. Disgraced, I forgot the man I once was, erased my identity and ran from who I loved. Now I'm completely lost in the sea. Wave after wave hits me with memories that we've made and created, just you and me, stories of a lifetime that most couldn't believe. I may have crossed you, but the cross is what I need. I am Judas' kiss and the nails in that tree. So don't leave me now. Don't leave me alone, probably. Don't leave me abandoned, maybe. Don't leave me without hope. Whisper through the fire, the quake in the wind, then give me the courage to start following again. For a while I clung to idols and they guided me to death. I only need you, Lord, so goddamn the rest. I don't know what's next and rarely know what is real. I'm scarred to death and I act on how I feel. It's still working on the end. Okay, fair enough. Because part of me feels like it should just end right here. Here's what I'll say. This is excellent. You've got a, hey, Cupcake 215, I'm glad you're here. You have got a solid beginning on the sound correlations, the rhythm. This sounds like it would be incredibly fun to actually perform live, and it would be so cool to be able to hear you do that. Really good work on that. I can definitely see the attention to detail on just how you've put together this whole thing. So really good work there. The advice that I would give you is I think you should follow the 10% rule. And what that means, oh yeah, you mentioned in the chat the typos. Yeah, there are some typos. Just the easiest way to fix typos is to read it out loud. And if that doesn't work, read it out loud backwards and that will fix it for you. But the 10% rule is basically, I would suggest going through this and cutting out 10% of everything. So maybe cut out 1 or 2 stanzas, maybe cut out 1 line out of every 10, or shorten some of the lines or something, and then either replace those with something else, beef it up, add a different stanza, something like that. Just because I feel like you say a ton here, and it's really good. But because it branches over so much information, it's a little bit harder for the audience to grasp onto the specific thing you want them to take away. Now, it definitely feels like this like long journey. It feels like you're kind of telling this epic story and it's like this giant metaphor. But I felt like the metaphor didn't really get started until I was in an ocean and my ship was going down. And then it felt like the rest of the song was all about like the ship, and it kind of would branch out into other metaphors at times, which was actually kind of cool. But it kept with that ship metaphor. But the first half of it didn't really like feel that way as much. So I would say you probably want to aim for a little bit more consistency, and you want to follow the 10% rule. The idea with the 10% rule is just that you want it. I always ask the question, what's better? A song that has, maybe it's only 5 stanzas long, but every stanza is amazing, or a song that's like 10 stanzas long, but only 5 stanzas are amazing. So they both have the same amount of stanzas, but they'll feel like there's filler stanzas in between with those 10. So you've got some really amazing stuff. But I would say that you probably have to go through and just say what really fits this story, and what feels like filler here, but would work better in another story or in another song. That would be the advice. So let me see if I'm missing anything here from your request. I didn't think there was anything boxy about it. If by boxy you mean like predictable, I don't really think so. I felt like the rhythm was pretty solid, and it would be really interesting to hear how that went. I don't think the flow of the lyrics would be boring. Like I said earlier, I wasn't even thinking about this then, but I feel like hearing this presented live would be really awesome. So yeah, good work. Continue the editing process, hone it down. Think of it as like a diamond, and as you cut away like little bits of the diamond, it's just going to shine better as you keep going. But like you've legitimately got a diamond here. This is not just some crappy piece of coal that people tell you will turn into a diamond. Like you've got something here that should continue to be edited. So good work. Katie, welcome.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How's it going?
Going okay. Just woke up, so I missed the first part, but
you know what? You're not the only one. I think like half of the people on here right now just woke up before this started. So you are in good company. Let's see. Oh yeah, and Tyler, to when you do finish working on this one, send me a copy. I'd love to, and especially if you use track changes in Google or in Word, Microsoft Word, I'd love to see how that alters and how you decided to change things. I'd be really curious to see how that develops. Oh, Trevor just woke up too, and so did Christopher. Oh my gosh, my fans are the sleepiest. You guys are cool, but you are sleeping. All right. I guess that's what do you expect from musicians, right? Songwriters. You guys all playing true to form. All right. So we've got Chris, we've got Trevor, we've got Katie, and I've got all of your lyrics in here. So we'll just keep charging through. I always prioritize doing lyrics for whoever's here. So I haven't done any of yours yet. Actually, you know what? I think Nicola got here first. So I'm gonna do Nicola's real quick. And then we'll jump into Katie's, and then we'll start going through Chris and Trevor's. Sweet. Martin's still in bed. That's great. Yeah, I could do this from bed, I guess. That wouldn't be such a bad idea.
I mean, I used to live stream from bed all the time, so
there you go.
No shame in it.
Yeah, and it's so much more comfortable and warm, especially on a cold day.
I know, right?
I could just probably record videos from bed. That wouldn't be bad.
I've actually been sitting up actually helps like enunciate, and you can hear clearer though. So, like that's the reason why I stopped doing that.
I'm less likely to fall asleep while streaming too if I am sitting. So there's that. All right. So these next ones come from Nicola, and Nicola. It's called Game of Today. And it's about feeling every day as a game. You can either win it or lose it. It's both a song I sometimes use for myself when things get a little out of hand, but also something I want to give to other people to make them focus and keep cool, even though they think they're going to lose the game of today. I've added comments to the lines to help you know what I thought when I wrote these lyrics. We probably, if I have a question about a particular line, I'll refer back to the Google Doc. But for now, Nicola is saying that the problems, and I think Nicola is a male name.
I have a cousin named Nikolai, and he's a guy, so.
Okay. I feel like there's probably like it's one of those names that could go either way, or is like very, very close.
He's saying, sorry, gotta go. I'm a male.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Bye, Nicola. Is that like a chat here? Oh, thanks. Okay, there it is. He doesn't have a mic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Salma. I really appreciate that. All right, so we'll just go ahead and knock out Nicola since we've got it up here. But let's see what we got. So looking for help. Don't know exactly, but I think I want some critique in the form of some advice or ideas I haven't or could have thought of about myself. I want something from the listener, reader in this case. Okay, so I'm actually going to farm this one out to everybody watching. So if you have suggestions for what Nicola's written, just give some ideas, and we'll see what we got here. Verse 1. Sometimes the day seems just a little wired of all the possible ways someone stole my fire. I don't know how and why I feel this way. I just have an urge to win the game of today. Don't let it fade away. It's just the game today. We play it every day. Don't feel it wash away. You shouldn't be afraid. Just win the game today. Back at it again. My torment's been slain. Stressed, I pressed it down from my chest. Now it's alone. It lives far from home. It's hostile and says, enough with the war you wage. You can't escape because you're the prey. And then back into the chorus. Okay. Two things I really like about this. The concept is really good. This concept of the everyday feeling like a game that you have to win is, I think, especially how a perfectionist feels. I don't think everybody feels that way, but I often empathize with this hugely. And so that's really interesting to me, though I have been tending to try to fight that feeling rather than to lean into it. So I definitely feel what he's saying in verse 2 here. Second, I really like, I don't know, the rhymes are good, the word choice is good, but there's just like this tone about it that's a little bit harder to express, but it just, I don't know, it sounds really cool. There's a lot of, maybe it's all the S's and the T's, but it just, the whole thing feels very sharp. Back at it again, my torment's been slain, stressed, I pressed it down from my chest. Now it's alone, I live far from home, it's hostile and says, and I really like that. So we've already got a couple of things that I think are awesome. But what do you guys think? Anybody have any suggestions for ways to beef up this song?
I feel like the rhyme scheme changes from verse 1 to verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's just a lot more rhyming in verse, or like it's all like A rhymes in verse 1, even into the chorus. And then in verse 2, you got a couple lines of B and then a couple lines of C, and it just kind of varies. And I like that there's more. Like, I like verse 2 more because it doesn't all rhyme with itself.
Okay, gotcha. So there's a little more variety in the rhymes, whereas up here there's just I guess like half of the lines do end with an A sound in verse 1.
And almost all of them, and then in chorus it does as well. And it's like, nobody can even find that many rhymes for that. I'm actually impressed.
Yeah, well said. Okay, yeah. So if you were gonna change something, Nicola, Katie's saying that you might be well served to vary the rhyming scheme and not use A's as much. Anybody else have any suggestions?
Also, other than that, I will say I really like it. Actually reminds me of something that I would write. So I actually really like it beyond that. Okay. Even that, whatever. It's just different depending on the verse and all that. But I do like it anyway.
Okay, very cool. One thing that I would suggest is I'd like to see more images. I think that's probably a note on the piano I hit a lot. I maybe my refrain, but someone stole my fire. I'd like to see more about what that looks like. What does this game look like? Like what is it like to be in this game? So you have this like metaphor of the game, but maybe describe or make us really feel like we're in the game with you. I think that either beefing up your verses like that, or your chorus, or even adding a bridge that really gets into that might be a good way to make this more immersive and help us understand what that game feels like. Because right now, I think I'm hearing from you like, hey, we got to not give up. We got to keep going. Back at it again. Stressed, I pressed it down from my chest. And so we hear of like this resiliency to keep going forth. But I want to know part of the reason that it's so terrible. There's a couple of references to it, but like give us some meat there. Give us some perspective. Yeah.
Can I add just something? Like, I really like it, but I feel it's a bit short. And to see like a third verse or a bridge that maybe says what it feels like if he lost the game.
Yeah.
Like if he can't say like what's the game is all about and how it feels like a game, maybe I want to know like to win this game so bad. Like I'm a perfectionist, so I totally understand. But maybe like have a verse or a bridge that says why you need to win this bad, because if you lose, this and this will happen. So
gotcha. Yeah, so give it some stakes.
Yeah.
It actually brings up an interesting point. Like winning the game of today and all that, it never comes up again either. And it's like, I want to actually feel like, there's a reason why you have to. I mean, I took the game of today just means just getting through the day. But at the same time, like the game concept never really comes up again. And if like you could go into that, even like in the bridge or whatever, you can go into that and go more in depth, show us why the game of today is so important and why you have to win and whatever. But it never comes up again at all. And it's almost like you could almost even take that line out and nothing would change.
So I guess what it sounds like everybody's saying is like the concept is really interesting. It resonates with people. It's really good. So let's just dive a little bit deeper into it and really, really make us feel it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least you worded it better.
Well, I had time to think about it. All right. Yeah. So good job, Nicola. That was really interesting. I think that you're really onto something. Keep up the good work. And again, I really liked how it sounded. That was really good stuff. Hey, Trevor, how's it going?
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hello.
Just taking a look at lyrics and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I just came in here for that one, so I didn't get to see the whole thing. But
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do Katie's now, but I've got yours queued up for the next one if you're ready.
I'm so ready, man.
Sweet. Okay. So, Katie, your song is called Standoff, yes?
Yes.
And if you wanted to give just like a brief elevator, well, I guess elevator pitch is the wrong word, but what would be like a brief description of your song? What's going on?
It was written about this guy that I dated for a couple of years and whatever, and just he kind of did a 180 on me near the end of the relationship, where he basically went from like, very agreeable, very in love, we were gonna get married and have kids, and whatever, to just hating me and making it clear that nothing I did could ever get him back and whatever. And I was just so confused as to why he changed so much so fast.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. And I saw in the feedback box that you were saying you're particularly looking for help, trying to like improve the wording and the flow.
Yeah, especially like I know the second line of the chorus is pretty kind of smushed in there, and I'm sure that could probably be worded better to make it not as long.
I mean, you could always just say it really, really fast.
Yeah, that too. That happens sometimes.
All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead. We'll take a read through it, and then we'll kind of go back through it one more time, looking for lines that we maybe have some suggestions for. And anybody who wants to throw in a suggestion, whether in the chat or Google Hangout, on that second read through, just stop me if you have an idea. All right. Though no pressure, of course. We're all here to have fun, guys. You're so cold, it makes me want to cry. Saying I'm okay is slightly more than a little white lie. Ooh, okay. I can't keep going because I got to say I really like the strong sound correlation you've got going here. Make me want to cry. I'm slight white lie. I'm so pissed off and yet so sad inside. Already, you're doing a good job. I'm locked in a fight. I just can't win. I wish you'd try to be civil now and then. I'm sick of spinning in circles again and again. I don't want this tension and pure hostility. I've tried time and time again to stop it to the best of my ability. I don't like this fight that we've gotten into. It's like we're in a standoff anticipating our next move. Well, I'm all right with your silence toward me, but not with the overwhelming icy heat. I don't know how this went down, who fired the first shot. We're in a standoff, like it or not. Ooh, I really like that last line of the chorus. You're so cold, you're sub-zero inside. To say I'm fine is way more than a little white lie. I'm so angry and yet so upset this time. I'm at a loss, not sure what to say. I want to apologize, but it's too late. Our ex-friendship is in a non-existent state. There's something wrong, we both know, as I look at the hands you used to hold. What the hell went wrong? Our friendship used to be so strong. Man, I think you're already off to a good start with a lot of the sound correlation there. There's definitely like you've obviously put a lot of intentional work into this and into editing it. So good work.
I also forgot to mention he was my best friend before we dated, so that's what's talking about the mic. Like he was my best friend before we dated, so that's kind of why I talk about our friendship, because we really were close friends before all of this, and then we like almost never spoke again.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, I appreciate you being willing to share that with all of us. It really sounds like a difficult situation. I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
Well, you know, it really was, but I've gotten past it.
Yeah. So we'll just go ahead and start reading through line by line. If we have any suggestions, guys, just say something. You're so cold it makes me want to cry, I think is a great introduction. It lets us know what's coming. Saying I'm okay is slightly more than a little white lie. Now that will be a longer line that it'll take some work to shove in, but all those I sounds, saying that really fast will make it sound cool. I'm so pissed off and yet so sad inside. I'm locked in a fight, I just can't win. Okay, so I'm locked in a fight, I just can't win. This is maybe less on the sound side and more on the story side, but it sounds to me like describing it as a fight seems different from the rest of the song, just because the rest of the song makes it sound like it's a lack of interaction, like there's nothing here, it feels dead. So the fight sounds like maybe it's more an internal thing with yourself to understand, whereas the rest of the song makes it sound is more about the relationship with him. So it feels a little bit like it's going in a slightly different direction, but it's not a terrible direction to go. I would just say that if you want to, I would develop it a little bit more. Fight I just can't win. I wish you'd try to be civil now and then. I'm sick of spinning in circles again and again. Sick of spinning in circles again. Sick of spinning in circles. Ah, dang. Katie, you really do a good job of making it sound good. I don't want this tension and pure hostility. I've tried time and time again to stop it to the best of my ability. Okay, so here's the suggestion I'll give for that second line. The time and time again is a little bit of a cliche, and it does slow things down for you. Maybe I've tried to stop it to the best of my ability, or maybe I've tried to stop it with all of my ability, or let's see, what do you guys think? What would be a good way to alter or edit this line here?
I just know it feels like really cluttered, and it just never sounded right even to me, but I wasn't sure what else to do with it.
I want this tension and hostility. Part of me wants to get rid of the word pure because I think it slows things down a little bit. But I don't want this tension and pure hostility. I want to avoid it to the best of my ability. I want to I want to understand to the best of my ability. I think the suggestion I would give is don't do the time and time again, particularly because you just did an again and again in the last line, so it feels like you're doing the same thing again. But instead of saying tried, I would give like a more active noun or verb that describes exactly the thing that you tried. And it doesn't have to be the all-inclusive, this is everything that I ever tried, all in a list, but just, what's one word that maybe best describes that? And I think that'll shorten it, and it'll also give that line more power.
I think it also sounds better even if you just said time and again.
Oh. I was actually thinking that too. Right after I saw it, it's like, did I really put in time and time again? Because I feel like that wouldn't sound as good as time and again. Like, I was actually thinking that as you're reading it. It was like, I can't believe I actually did that.
Another thing you could do to cut off 2 syllables is you say stop it to the best of my ability. You could say stop it with all my ability, and that would cut out a couple extra syllables as well. I don't like this fight that we've gotten into. It's like we're in a standoff anticipating our next move. I like that one. That couplet right there is really good. Well, I'm all right with your silence toward me, but not with the overwhelming icy heat. Yeah, this line, these two don't sound like they match super well. Well, I'm all right with your silence toward me, which fits in with the rhythm of everything else, but not with the overwhelming icy heat. Toward me, icy heat. Yeah, I think the rhythm changes a little bit there. Not with the heat, not with the overwhelming heat. You could maybe do, but not with the overwhelming heat. I like the paradox of the icy heat.
Yeah, me too.
Icy heat. Okay, so I think what it is that toward me, you have accented syllable, unaccented syllable. So it's toward me. And it is intense on the word toward, and then it is relaxed on the word me. But down at the bottom, or down on that next line, you have icy heat. And I think that it kind of goes back up on the heat. And so the 2 lines rhythms don't match. And a lot of times when you have a solid rhyme, you want the rhythms of the words that are rhyming to also match. You could do the over...
What about just taking out overwhelming, or not with all this icy heat?
Icy heat, but not with all this icy heat, but not. Well, I'm all right with your silence toward me, but not with the icy heat.
Or with all the icy heat, or
but not with all the icy heat. Yeah, I think, but not with all of the icy heat. I think that would kind of put the rhythm back in order a little bit. I think that would be a good way to do it. Yeah. I don't know how this went down. Who fired the first shot? We're in a standoff, like it or not. Super good. Love that one. You're so cold. You're Sub-Zero inside. To say I'm fine is way more than a little white lie. I like how you bring it back to that line. And you make it more intense as well. So good. Good use of repetition there. So angry and yet so upset this time. I'm at a loss. Not sure what to say. I want to apologize, but it's too late. Our ex-friendship is in a non-existent state. Just some of these lines really make me smile because I think that ex-friendship is in a non-existent state. I really like the use of the words ex-friendship and non-existent. I will say that to say something is in a non-existent state is a little bit awkward is perhaps the wrong word, but it's just like it feels a little bit forced, like you really needed to rhyme with late. And so you went with non-existent state, or you went with the word state. And the reason that it feels a little bit forced is just because not a lot of people use that phrasing in a similar situation.
I feel like the X, and then the non-existent state kind of feels redundant looking back on it as well. Like,
oh, sure.
I'm saying, like, if I said our friendship was in a non-existent state, that might be a little bit more, like, it just seems like X and then non-existent. Well, obviously it's not existing because we're ex-friends.
That's fair. It is a little bit repetitive, or a little bit redundant. But at the same time, I really like those those X's in the line. It makes it sound lyrically really good. If there's a way to use those words, but to reorganize or restate it in a way that is a little bit less redundant, you'll have a really powerful line. There's something wrong. We both know as I look at the hands you used to hold. What the hell went wrong? Our friendship used to be so strong. Okay, so at this point, I think sound-wise it all works out. But our friendship used to be so strong. I think leaves me hanging a little bit. Where like I want the bridge to continue and to give a little bit more description of this. It feels like you've introduced the idea of our friendship used to be so strong, but like I need to see a picture of that, or I need some proof basically.
At this point in my writing, I had pretty formulaic stuff like 6-line verses, 8-line choruses, 4-line bridges. And that's like almost all my stuff for like years was like this. Like I had like probably hundreds in that format, with very few exceptions for 5+ years. So that's probably part of the reason why I did. I probably could easily expand on it. I just was never sure if I was just like never really sure just out of habit if I really wanted to or not.
Yeah. Hey, well, you've got the skills for sure, so don't let that be the thing that keeps you back. There's nothing wrong with following a particular form, but you're off to a really good start.
Thanks. I'm trying to find it in my files so I can update it.
Yeah. Well, hey, good work. Any other questions we can answer for you?
I don't think so. Actually, there are a few ones like the icy heat thing. I really do want to keep that. That's why I'm trying to figure out a way to work with it. Sure. Because I do like the juxtaposition of it.
Yeah.
But I try to figure out like a way of but I'm not but not with an over. I can't remember what the one was that I was going to use, but I just that's one of the ones that I really liked and whatever. I really glad you guys noticed the little white lie part because I actually did purposely bring that back because first of all I wasn't sure what to use there instead because I really want to do the Sub-Zero and sideline and then it's like and then I'm like I just made a little white lie thing and hope that nobody was bothered by it and whatever. So the fact that you liked it just kind of was like, okay, good, I'm glad I did that then.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I think that was a really good move, and I really appreciate that you intentionally put that in there. So, all right.
Thanks. I'm actually surprised it was liked as well liked as it was, because it wasn't like one of my older works, but it is like definitely before I was like really really good at my craft. I had more good ones than not, but
yeah. Well, hey, keep up the good work.
Thanks.
All right, Trevor. So you sent in 2 songs. You sent in "Do Something" and "Housefire." So if we have time at the end of it before 1 to jump into another one, we'll get you 2 for sure.
Okay.
But which one is your priority?
Probably "Housefire" right now. I'd say.
"Housefire." Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Oh, and if we aren't able to get it today, feel free to just put the other one in the songwriter Facebook group and tag me in it, and we'll do some talking about it too.
Sounds good. Yeah, that one I just kind of wrote while I was at work in a day, just because I had some feelings about it. So.
All right. Well, hey, there was an angry dog. Let me make sure the angry dog isn't killing anybody. I'm just gonna shut the door. Galaxy is very protective, and when one of us comes home from somewhere, which April is probably doing right now, she barks a lot because she wants to greet us with her overwhelming enthusiasm for our safety.
Aww.
All right, so what do you want to tell us about Housefire?
So I kind of mentioned it in both my posts, but it is somewhat of a 2-parter, and I just happened to write the second half first. I'm writing the first half right now, but basically what you need to know is what the house represents. And so like it's somewhat representing of a prison, I guess you could say, of feeling trapped within your walls, whereas while you're feeling trapped in there, they also offer some sort of protection. And so this is kind of the victory over feeling that entrapment, I guess.
Okay.
Is the best way I could kind of explain it because I'm still working out the kinks for the first part.
Okay, cool. So have you listened to Therapy Session or Mansion by NF? Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I was going to say, he probably, those songs will be a masterclass in how to do something like this well.
Yeah.
All right. And then I see that you started, let's see, you said, do I need to add more? I'm unsure about the choruses, and just kind of advice in general we'll give you.
Yeah, the choruses, that's the only really part that I'm unsure about. I don't know. I haven't sold on it yet.
All right, cool. So in verse 1, I lie awake while asleep, a prisoner inside my sheets, so I can't wait to see these walls blacken in the heat, waking up in a sweat. Another night I regret my forgetful and forgiving mindset, but tonight I won't be locked in that bed again. Off the bat, good job keeping it steady with some solid concrete images, the sheets, the walls, the bed. It really helps us to see. Like, you don't ever tell us you're in your room, but like we all know. Mm-hmm. And if I'm wrong, then now you know that everybody will read it wrong. You will come back to the chorus. Replace my denial with defiance. I like replacing.
Well, actually, the chorus 1 and chorus 2 are different in their wordings.
Yeah, I was gonna do them both at the same time.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That works.
Unless are they part of like a overall narrative flow?
A little bit, you could say, yeah.
All right, well let's jump into the chorus then. Cease the pain, stop this game. I need to see this deed through. Okay, yeah, I can see where like this deed through. Like I feel like that stops the flow of it a little bit because you've got the two harsh d sounds, and then you go into this much softer th sound. This deed through. I need to see this deed through. It's a little bit different there, and I don't know. Yeah, we'll save like overall feedback for after we read through it. Replace my denial with defiance. I like that. That's really cool. I hope becomes alive. A cold soul sentenced to die, and in the fire I'll feel life. I like that. I'll feel life. I grab the candle and pull the door handle. Evil intentions pan my damn skull. Wait a second. Oh, that's so cool. Handle, damn skull. That's awesome. All right. And even evil. I carry the flame to the mantle, and maybe that's what will bring down this castle. The fires grow and begin to crackle as the walls also start to unravel, and I can see the final doorway that'll break me out of the cycle. All right. Final and cycle. That's a good rhyme right there. That's some good assonance.
That took me forever to get.
No, that's really cool. Now, castle. I think the castle thing throws me a little bit because, like, they say like a man's home is his castle, and so I wonder if you're referring to that. But like in your envisioning of this whole thing, is it actually a castle or is it a house?
I mean, I guess you can kind of think of it as like the fairy tale version of a castle.
And that makes some of the imagery in the bridge. Okay, so what I would suggest then is, because it says house fire and what feels like a very normal bedroom in the verse, there's no hints of it being a castle. It is a little bit surprising when we get to the bridge and all of a sudden it's a castle. So ways to change this, you could rename it Castle Fire. I don't recommend that because that doesn't sound a little bit weird. But you could reference castles a little bit more in the chorus, and that could give you some ability to fill it out. If the castle imagery is really important, then putting it in the chorus is a really good way to show that, and also to let people know, like, hey, here's how it is. And then because verse 1 all of a sudden gives, at least it gives me, I'll just say, like, if I'm your intended listener, here's how I'm responding. Verse 1 gives me very much this like bedroom vibe, and like a modern house is what I'm thinking of. So I would say if you can give some sort of a hint in the first line or two that it's got a little bit more of a castle vibe, then that would help to set the stage a little bit.
I guess the castle is a little more of a metaphor, I guess, just kind of like maybe almost a big beast that you're trying to take down. And so while it is a simple house, the castle is supposed to be like this big enemy sort of thing.
Okay, so where is the castle then?
I would just say like the castle is representative of the house. Okay. But it just seems bigger than it actually is. But I definitely get what you're saying.
So the castle's in his mind to an extent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, actually, yes.
So I think you already begin to hint at that. Evil intentions pan my damn skull, which shows us that like it's kind of being about what's going on in your head. So what I would recommend doing is, just if you're going to have a house and a castle, your audience really wants to know where they are in relation to each other, just so that they can make sense of it, so they're not getting the two mixed up. So it will help at least audiences like me. Not everybody will appreciate the same changes, I'm sure, and you know your target audience the best, who your first listener is. But I think if you can show that like where that castle is in relation to the house, and that it's in the mind of the person in the house, then that will probably clear up a lot of stuff. And that's something that can easily be accomplished in like maybe verse 2. It's already a little bit short, so yeah, that would be a good transition into the bridge. Then we got the final chorus. Cease the rain, don't stop the flame. I need to see this deed through. Let's see. So you have cease the pain, cease the rain. Stop this game, don't stop the flame. I need to see this deed through. All right. So what do you not like about your chorus?
It just seems short. Well, and the whole entire song seems short, but when I play it, it's very much like all of it's drowned out. So it's like, seize the pain. And so everything's like a lot drowned out. So it takes up a lot of time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And there's no problem with that. if you wanted to lengthen it out a little bit more, an easy and not bad way to do that, honestly, would be to just use a little bit of repetition. You could cease this pain, stop this game, cease this pain, stop this game. Especially if you repeat those first two lines, I think they're super powerful. And then to combine, and then you could do the same thing in chorus too. Cease the rain, don't stop the flame. Because those feel like such central themes or ideas in the song, to repeat them a couple of times will emphasize the importance, and it'll also help to beef up the chorus a little bit.
Gotcha.
Apart from that, let's see, cease the pain, stop this game, and you see this deed through. If you just got a little, so that's one route. The other route you could go is just to get a little bit more detailed about either what the pain is or what the deed is, and just to describe those a little bit more. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with a short chorus, especially if your song is very like detail focused with the verses and the bridge. It's not a bad thing at all. Let's see if anybody has given any suggestions in the chat. Jeremiah likes songs with multiple choruses. Yeah, me too. I think that's a pretty cool way to use repetition, but also to keep things fresh. Yeah, so I guess just to summarize, I think if you can make it clear where the castle is in relation to the speaker, that'll help. And maybe lengthening out the verse is a good way to do that. The second verse, the rhymes are all really awesome, and obviously a lot of work put into that. The choruses, maybe a little bit of repetition will go a long way. And then really hit home on that theme that you want to present in the chorus.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, or does anybody else?
I think I got it good.
All right, cool. When you do alter that, I'd love to see how you see how that ends up sounding or looking. And seriously, if any of you guys at any point record any of these songs, you're under like the moral obligation to share them with the rest of us, because we really want to hear them. So, all right, good stuff. Next up is Christopher, because I saw that he was here a long time ago. And his song is here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so his song is called Anxiety. Oh, good. A hashtag relatable song. Anxiety, just something I wrote trying to work through my anxieties, and I don't really know what I want to, get advice on. I didn't spend too much time on this. Maybe some verse structuring. Okay, so we'll take particularly a look at like how we can organize the verses into different ideas or themes. That is one thing that will be, I think, helpful to everybody to keep in mind. I'm gonna stop screen sharing. Hey, it's actually me. And yes, while I talk, I'm like randomly waving around this hanger because that's what I do. I fidget. I try to find ways to fidget quietly, because if I'm like talking to somebody, they're annoyed by fidgeting because it's visually distracting. But with podcasting and live streaming, where you don't see my face, I can fidget all I want as long as I'm quiet. So here we are. Yeah. One thing that I think is super helpful to remember as you're working on a song is structuring verses and the different stanzas. I think that it becomes a lot easier to write a song and to conceptualize a song if you're asking what role or job does each stanza serve. Now, we have the basic framework for what people have been doing for the past 60, 100, in some cases thousands of years, where the verse tells the theme, the chorus tells the theme or the big idea. And really, like, if people don't get the verses, then you better sure as heck make sure they get the chorus. Then you have the verses where you tell the story and you suck people in and you get them to care about what you're talking about. And then you have the pre-choruses that transition between those. And usually they're a musical transition and they're a lyrical transition. They go from the concrete to the abstract. And then you have the bridge that looks at everything from a different angle. The introductions and the outros obviously both introduce and outro. But I think it's really important, especially when you have multiple verses or even multiple choruses, to say to yourself, like, what do I want this stanza to accomplish? What part of the story do I want the stanza to tell? And so it can be a really good exercise to pull up whatever you're doing in a Word document, highlight the verse or the chorus, and then in the comment box that you create, tell yourself, like, write down in one sentence,
what do I want this verse to do? What is the purpose of this verse? And then you can look at that outline you've created of your song and ask, is this a continuous, smooth flow? And obviously you're going to come back to the chorus and the pre-chorus frequently. But you can ask yourself for sure, like, do I continue moving the story forward? If it's a snapshot of a single moment, do I dig deeper into this snapshot? If you're telling a story, is the story actually happening? If it's a character sketch, are we getting to know this person more? And it's a good way to hold yourself accountable to make sure that you're not just repeating stuff that you don't necessarily need to be repeating or that isn't interesting. So that is my hanger-fueled advice. And back to the lyrics. So that's kind of what we'll keep in mind here as we're talking about Christopher's lyrics. And is Christopher still here? Yeah, still here. Awesome. Glad you're here, Christopher. Jeremiah is making fun of me for my coat hanger. Well, it was there. There's pencils and pens too, but like there's just something about coat hangers. Like you can twirl it and you can't see any of this. Sorry guys. You can spin it and it's just very like, it's a very tactilely interesting thing. Whereas a pen is it's just a pen. You get bored of fidgeting with a pen. Okay, anyway, enough of the stuff that nobody cares about. I have no friends, only one, nobody to pick me up. Only down if only I had one. That is way too much for me. If you feel the way I feel, follow me down or not, I'm too scared to care. My brain is on overdrive. I cry too much and do so little. Just look at this mess I made. This is who I am to me. Anxiety is the cornerstone of all of me. I cry at these thoughts I have. Can I live without them if they ever leave? Ooh, I really like this stanza. This is my favorite stanza so far. I wonder if that's the chorus. I hope it is. A lot of times, a good way, if you haven't decided on what you want to be the chorus yet, find the best part and then just say it more, and that's your chorus. I'm a slave to my thoughts as they talk to me. Let me be, let me see why it's a part of me. Oh, I like that line too. That's pretty nice. I'm bolding all the parts I really like. I can't believe the time wasted. Just let me be. I don't want you to see this part of me. I'm going to leave this all behind as I bury myself in the grind. I can be who I want to be. Just lay it down and let it rage. I'm trying to write a page about how my life is saved, but my thoughts engraved on this path paved. I gave up so much for this curse to not win. If I die now, it would be a sin. Although I'm willing, I can never quit. I'm in love with pain, and these lines have slain who I was before just to kill my dreams. Ooh, I really want you to dive deeper into that image right there. I want to hear more about that. I don't want this to be my legacy. My life can't be what I want. So let me believe I can do what I want to do. All right. So you were saying in your comment something that I found really interesting. You said just something I wrote trying to work through my anxieties. So it sounds like it's maybe something that you haven't spent a ton of time structuring and analyzing and editing and stuff like that, which means that essentially what you've done, if my hypothesis is correct, is that you've done some free writing here. And for anybody who doesn't know, free writing is basically when you say, I'm going to pick a topic and write about it as fast as I can. Let's go. And so that's a really good place to start with a song. The point at which you finish free writing is the point at which you begin either rewriting or organizing. And that is what you asked for help with, so that's very appropriate. But what I would suggest doing is going through this and pulling out the lines that you really, really like and saying like, all right, I want these to be the cornerstones of my song. And to say like, hey, I really want this line to be part of a verse. I think it tells an important part of the story. I want this stanza to be the chorus, or I want these lines together to be the chorus. Or, hey, I really think these lines right here are really deep. I want to like develop this imagery more. And I want this to be, I want to tell the story of this image in the two choruses, something like that. And so I think that when you free write a song, or when you pre-write, as the case may be, usually, sometimes people will write something, they're like, hey, let's go, this is it. But my big suggestion is to free write a lot. Like if you're going to write a 100-line song, which would be a really long song, by the way. So we'll just say a 30-line song. If you're going to write a 30-line song, I recommend free writing like 100 lines and then go through that and pull out, your favorite 10 lines and then use those 10 lines as kind of like the seed to grow the rest of the lines and to develop those other 20 so that you get to your 30 or whatever. Not that songwriting is supposed to be a quota, but I'm a big fan of journaling, free writing, pre-writing, brainstorming, all that stuff. And this feels like a super productive brainstorming session at this point. So now I think what you want to ask yourself is, all right, what are my favorite parts? You look at your favorite parts, figure out what they all have in common, and then say, this is what I want my song to be about. If you can say that in 20 words or fewer, you are tracking, all right? So that's part of the magical songwriting process. But have that big idea for your song, and then make sure that everything you do follows that process. And then you can start saying, all right, this is what I want verse 1 to do. This is what I want verse 2 to do. And my recommendation is to start with like this outline of verse 1, a chorus, a verse 2, a bridge, just 4 stanzas, and ask, what do I want each of these to do? And if they don't fill up everything that you need, you can add a pre-chorus, you can add a third verse, whatever, an intro and outro. But start with those 4 stanzas and ask yourself, like, what do I want this song to say? And so I know, based on what we're seeing here, that it's got to have to do with anxieties. It's got to do with your relationship with those anxieties. I cry at these thoughts I have. Can I live without them if they ever leave? I feel like this is a big central question. And I'd like to maybe, you know, if I was you and I had written this and I was going back and revising, I personally would probably make this kind of the cornerstone of my chorus and start building out from there. And I would want a lot of the things that I talked about in the verses to have to do with that. I would probably pick like this part right here to develop as kind of the bridge to tell the story of that. And then I don't know where I'd put this, but I want to put it somewhere because I like it. And then I would kind of go through the rest of it and be like, okay, I really like this line. My brain is on overdrive. Okay, let's describe that a little bit more. And let's kind of expand on that for a line or two to help develop this idea of killing my dreams, and go through it and really just do some planning and some organizing here. So I think you're off to a really, really good start. I think at this point, more healthy than getting even more critique from us. I would just say, I think go into it and say like, here's what I want. Here's what I want this to look like. And once you know what what you want it to look like, then you can say, does it look like what I want it to look like? And the editing process and the serious revising after you get the organization done can begin. So that's my advice for you, Christopher. Like I said, off to a really great start. And for somebody who I'm guessing just sort of like wrote this stuff down, you've got a lot of really good stuff in here. So keep up the good work. If you have any questions, hit us up in the chat. And if I am still alive and Galaxy hasn't, I don't know, started barking too much, we'll see what we got. Actually, I don't think it was Galaxy. I think it was a door shutting or something. All right, Jeremiah is here. Looks like we've got 5 songs left. Oh, 6, because we got one from Jessica. Okay, so we probably won't have time to do double songs from anybody who suggested or submitted a double song, just because we are coming up on 1. And I think Jeremiah is the last person. Yeah, you're welcome, Chris. Hopefully that's helpful. Jeremiah is the last person who I think is actually here and live, unless Lydia, are you here? Sophia, are you here? Colby, are you here? Nathan, did you somehow find yourself able to make it here? And Jessica, are you here? So let's go ahead and take a look at Jeremiah's lyrics. Oh, I don't know if you guys are making plans, but over on the regular channel, we're doing a live stream quiz at 2 p.m. today if you want to come. I don't want to give too much away because I feel like it'd give people an unfair advantage, but almost all the questions are based on recent videos on the channel, so there's no prizes though, so that's also kind of sad. But
2 p.m. today?
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time, so like an hour and a half from now.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty, let's see what we got. Katie, thanks for standing up for me. All right, Jeremiah. Roulette World is about, and that's the name of the song, is about how life is unpredictable. The world around us is always changing. Sometimes it feels like you just have to hope you end up in the right place at the right time, kind of like a roulette wheel. Oh, okay, I like that central metaphor. The song ultimately looks to God for guidance, because in a constantly changing world, how can we be sure of anything without something or someone that's stable? The first verse alludes to the other songs I plan to put in this same album, which is going to have an overarching theme of your mind being a sort of containment cell. Oh, yeah. I've already submitted a couple of the more prison-related songs for criticism, Asylum and Waiting Room. Verse 2's I fold my hands refers to folding a poker hand, as in giving up, and folded hands refers to the classic hand position for praying. Okay, I like that combination there. That's a pretty cool connection. I turn in my cards and ask God for help. Verse 3, security is hard to find, mainly means stability is hard to find, but it also alludes to I'm turning myself in from a couple lines before, as if I were going to turn myself into casino security. All right. Jeremiah says that he feels like the chorus is weak. It could definitely be improved. Appreciate some ideas brainstorming on what the heck I could do with the chorus. And then number 2, I feel like the last 2 lines of verse 1 aren't too strong either. Just kind of threw something together that would fit the prison narrative, but also relate to gambling. If you feel like there's a hole in the lyrics, I'd definitely be open to switching those lines out. And P.S. I know there's not a number 3 thing to get help with in my lyrics, but I just have a quick question. What exactly would you call my verse 2? It doesn't follow the format, syllables, rhythm of my other 2 verses. And honestly, I kind of felt like it was an additional bridge. Would you call it pre-chorus 2 or bridge A? All right, we'll check it out. So let's see what we got. Red lights illuminate the lock I'm stuck behind. I like the lights illuminate lock. That's really cool. I make my bets, grind my teeth, hoping that I get this right. Good job with the making bets. That really helps to set the tone here. Free colors on the floor remind me of games of chance. Ironic how those games are the cuffs on my hands. Oh, hey, I really like those lines from verse 1. Those last 2 lines of verse 1, I actually kind of like those. That's really good. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going. I run fast and walk slowly. My time is wearing thin. The casino floor is getting a bit smoky. Smoky and slowly, good rhyme. I hope that I'm not the only one who feels like this. Verse 2, I fold my hand with folded hands. Nice. I'm a bit dismayed. The tables turn and I'm scared. They're moving, I'm afraid. Chorus, changes, twisting. I fall into a whirl, but still I'm thinking we're on a roulette world. Shifting, spinning, it never lands the same. Sometimes it feels like I never win this game. Okay, I'm digging it. I've got aces up my sleeve and I'm turning myself in. Poker chips are flying, the whole room starts to spin. Security is hard to find in a wheel I don't move, so God, I'll try to find security in you. Okay, yeah, so I don't necessarily feel the connection to casino security here, though I understand like that would kind of make sense with a lot of the terminology you're saying. But I think it comes across pretty clearly that you're talking about finding safety and security. Then we get into the bridge. We're spinning around. Our odds are even lower than we are. We're spinning high up off the ground. We're spinning around. We're spinning high up off the ground. But we're not getting very far. And then the time is wearing. The song ends mid-sentence, just like the annoying cutoff at the end of Migraine. Nice. Get the people back. Just what we want. More annoying cutoffs. No, I like that. That's cool. My time is wearing, and what a better time to end it than in the middle of my time is wearing. I love how you do not feel constrained by typical rules about where a chorus or a bridge should go. You've got verse 1, pre-chorus, and then we just go into another. We don't go into the chorus. We go into the verse and we go into the chorus, and then verse, and then pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, and then it ends on a pre-chorus. You like your pre-choruses, and you like putting them anywhere and everywhere, and I think that is really cool. And then Katie is very excited about this too. She loves this one. Oh, crocheting. How nice. All right. So overall, tons of really good lines. The metaphor is solid throughout. Let me go and refresh on the things you were looking for help on. Verse 1 lines, I'm not worried about them. I like them. Verse 1 or number 1, the chorus feels weak. Yeah, let's take a look at the chorus in particular. I did catch a couple of lines in the chorus that I thought weren't as strong. You only repeat it 3 times, and so it's not that huge of a deal, but I fall into a whirl. I don't know what that looks like. It makes me think of a whirlwind or a hurricane. The changing and the twisting, I'm not feeling as much, but it's not terrible. I fall into a whirl part, though. I would recommend tweaking that one a bit. But still, I'm thinking we're on a roulette world. I think that one, the roulette world, you got to have that because that's the name of the song. Shifting, spinning. The shifting I don't get, but the spinning makes a lot of sense with the roulette, and maybe the twisting thus as well. And I guess that also brings the whirl into focus. But I would almost suggest doing, but still I'm thinking we're on a roulette world, or having that roulette world similar. Changing, twisting, we're on a roulette world, but still I'm thinking, shifting, spinning, or something like that. I would bring the roulette earlier just to establish that metaphor and really help us to understand what you're going at. It never lands the same. Sometimes it feels like I never win this game. And I feel like you trail off a little bit there. So maybe even moving that forward. Let's see. I think if I was to just rearrange this, not really add anything, I would probably do changing, twisting. We're on a roulette world, shifting, spinning, but still I'm thinking. Or maybe it never lands the same. Sometimes it feels like I never win this game. Changing, twisting, I fall into a whirl. And I think the fall into a whirl, if you wanted to keep that, so that's just what I would do if I only reorganized lines. I would put the whirl at the very end because I feel like that shows some sort of finality. Sometimes it feels like I never win this game, leaves me going but I want to know like what's going to happen next. So I think you could really alter this chorus dramatically by maybe cutting a line or two, replacing a line or two, and then just shifting it around a little bit. So that's the advice that I've got on that. And then your third question, what would you call verse 2? There's a reason that wouldn't make a fine verse 2. It does have a lot fewer words in verse 1, so it's not quite as... So it's about half as long as verse 1, which is fine as well. I fold my hands with folded hands. I'm a bit dismayed. I'd like to see something a little bit stronger than a bit. I am dismayed, maybe. The tables turn and I am scared. They're moving, I'm afraid. That almost does. Yeah, I think what you said about the pre-chorus is maybe it does sort of fit as some kind of a pre-chorus. It could also work as a second bridge or a first bridge. That's cool too. If you do it as a bridge, part of me would want, if you do it as a pre-chorus, don't do this. But if you do it as a bridge, I would recommend going through it again. I think it's really clever, really solid, and I'd like to hear more of it. So that would be my suggestion there. Really, though, what it is comes down to how you want it to come across musically. And if you want it to come across musically like verse 1, then it's a verse. If you want it to be more of that transition, it does. The tables turn and I'm scared, they're moving, I'm afraid. Actually feels like a really solid transition into the chorus because you have like this imagery, this concrete imagery, but it quickly becomes that roulette world. So I actually really do like it as a pre-chorus. I think that would be pretty cool. But then again, I also want to repeat it, so it would make a good bridge as well. It all comes down to whatever you want, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, have you said anything? Let's see. Jeremiah says, yeah, I tried to stray from the typical psalm format. Good work on that. I like that. I'll try messing with the position of the lines. To be honest, might just cut it to, but still I'm thinking we're on a roulette world. Yeah, that would be a good way to do it. If you do it, yeah, I can't repeat everything. Well, yeah, but you've got some good stuff in there, all right? If you did repeat this, or if you did use this as a pre-chorus and didn't repeat it, they're moving, I'm afraid, but still I'm thinking we're on a roulette world. That would feel like a little bit of an awkward transition. If you use that as a pre-chorus, I wouldn't necessarily do that. But you could say just the word "but" makes it sound like something's changed, right? And so this is like already hinting. The tables turn and I'm scared. They're moving, I'm afraid. Is hinting at the roulette world. So if you like say "but" we're on a roulette world, it's like you're contradicting for no reason. So just depending on which pieces of my advice you decide to take, just keep that in mind. But overall, great work. If anybody wants to jump in and say something, go ahead. But if not, we'll just move on to the next song.
Yeah, I just want to say it's really cool, and I like the metaphor here, and I like that he just like every single word is like serving this metaphor.
Yeah,
so that's really cool. But yeah, I'd say that there are a few lines here and there that could be changed or deleted or just rearranged. And I think that you've said it really, really well.
Yeah, and well said for you too, Salma. Thanks. All right, guys, we got Lydia, Sophia, Colby, Nathan, and Jessica. And that will probably be where we'll end today with those four. Lydia, Sophia, Colby, Nathan, Jessica, those 5. Alrighty. Actually, this is really cool because I think these are the first ones we'll have critiqued today where the people who wrote them weren't here. So it's really cool that you guys all showed up. Thanks for coming down. This has been a lot of fun. It's way more fun with you guys here than just sitting in my room by myself talking about people's lyrics. So that's what I usually do anyway, I guess. I guess that's my job, but oh well. All right, so this song by Lydia is called Nomad. She says, I love to travel, and I've been doing it a lot recently, but this is also about me now having 2 homes, my college in Nashville and hometown in Missouri. Things haven't changed much, but it's a strange feeling when you come back like being a stranger or something. Oh, I feel like I've seen this before, maybe.
That's going to be like a strong one, really.
Yeah, have you heard the song from Lydia already, Salma?
For some reason, I feel that I have, but
Yeah.
maybe just this topic is like it hits home for me. No pun
Yeah.
intended.
Well, you're a traveler for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited to jump into it. See, downright suddenly it's here. What a blast from the past. Cross the long bridges and the winding state lines. Ride the river and knock down these walls. This new destination's a gamble. There's almost no rhyming here. There's some like internal rhymes within the lines, but there's like not a lot of rhyming between the lines. Gutsy and cool. I'm a stranger to my homeland, a true product of my valley of wind and water. I don't think there's much for me anymore there, except fog and uneven ground. But maybe the Mississippi misses me too. Maybe the Mississippi misses me too. I want to say that a million times because that's really cool. I'll find her again on the other side. This time is nothing more than a nomad. Nothing more than a nomad. Lydia's got a gift for just really putting some phrases together. Upright, gone too fast, flashback to the present. Cross the ghost towns and winding state lines, ride these Floridian ocean waves, and jump straight into the future. It's a risk, but it's damn worth it. I like that resolution there. There's so much like uncertainty, but now all of a sudden like there's this very much strong certainty, and I think it's nice context. It makes the song feel like it's dynamic and moving and going somewhere. There's nothing here for me anymore. I'll find her again on the other side, this time as a nomad. I'm putting on a charade. What a sham I am. What a sham I am makes me think of Sam I Am. I think that one throws me for a loop real quick. But being caught between two realms, I feel like such a nomad. Just remind me in a few days that I'm not doing this alone. There's nothing there for me anymore except fog and uneven ground, but maybe the Mississippi misses me too. I'll find her again on the other side, this time as a nomad. And this stanza right here is beautiful. I love this stanza. That's absolutely wonderful. I want to hear this song, Lydia. Please make this song. All right, so you were looking for help on word choice, story, rhyme ideas. I think, okay, so I would suggest altering what a sham I am, though I'm sure that your presentation of it could probably reduce some of like the Dr. Seuss illusion there, but I really like this stanza, and it's slightly different iterations throughout. Oh, excuse me, get tired. There's some really good lines here. Honestly, I think of the Staves or Sufjan Stevens or somebody in a room somewhere playing in a guitar and singing this very simply. There's not a lot to it, and I think Lydia likes the violin, so I could see somebody having, playing the guitar to a violin track. You don't need any drums. Use the guitar as your percussion, and it just gives like this very like world weary traveling vibe, but it's got this resolution that goes with it. Like they kind of struggled with like, hey, I don't feel like I belong somewhere, but you know what? It's a risk, but it's damn worth it. And I'll find her again. I'll come back to this place, but this time I'm going to be different. So it shows this personal development. And honestly, I don't have a lot of things that I necessarily want to change. I like the fact that you very bravely jump in there without a lot of rhymes to back up the musicality of it. But maybe the Mississippi misses me too, I really, really like. There's a couple of other lines like that. I'm putting on a charade. I like that line for some reason too. It sounds very nice. And then I'll find her again on the other side, this time as nothing more than a nomad. That I really like. Yeah, obviously you got to be careful with alliteration. You don't want to overdo it. Otherwise it does start to sound comical, as with any type of lyrical device. But I think that you pull it off really well in both of these cases. And you actually got a lot more consonants in this line here, because you got the three M sounds, and then the 1, 2, 3 N sounds. And this time as nothing more than, you've got a lot of TH sounds as well. But it's never too much that it sounds like it's too much. And so I really do like that. The ghost towns, the winding state lines. Winding state lines, I feel like I've heard that described before, but the ghost towns, the Floridian ocean waves, there's just a lot of really good imagery here. A true product of my valley of wind and water, strong illusion, the fog and the uneven ground. Yeah, Lydia, I don't know what you want me to say. This is really solid. Hey, Nate's here. Welcome, Nate. Jeremiah likes the chorus. Katie really likes this one, despite the not rhyming. Does anybody else want to critique Lydia's song in some way? Because I just feel like the next step for the song is just to record it.
Yeah, I feel that too. Like I'm trying to find anything that I could like tweak a bit, but I can't. And I just feel it's so bittersweet. Like I need a bittersweet melody to it,
Yeah.
and just like listen to it and cry maybe, or just like smile or something. Like I really like it.
Yeah. I guess the only thing we can really do at this point, then, the only thing I can do is just to kind of talk about how it affects me personally, or if there's any lines that really speak to me. I guess I've already done that, so there's maybe not even that much left to do. But you've got the chorus. Okay, so you've got a slight pre-chorus right here, probably, and then you go into the chorus, verse, chorus, either a verse or a bridge, and then chorus. I mean, you could. Lydia, you're embarrassing me. She asks for rhyme ideas. I don't think you should rhyme it, though. I think it's good the way it is. If you wanted to rhyme anything, you could always rhyme a little bit in the verses. I think the chorus already has enough literary connection. There's nothing there for me anymore. Maybe the Mississippi misses me. Find her again on the other side, this time as a nomad. So if anything, you could always add some stuff into the verses a little bit. But I don't know. I think, Lydia, I think you're at a good place. I think you ought to focus on just trying to put some really good music to it. Everybody in the chat is saying really nice things about you too. So good work. And if there's something that you're like, oh, I really wish you talked about this, just post in the Facebook group and tag me in it, and we can keep talking about it. But yeah, stop sending really, really good songs to this, guys. It's no fair. All right. So good job, Lydia. Nate, you're here, so we're gonna jump on your lyrics real quick and see what we got going on.
May I just say something?
Yeah.
Do you know the song by, hang on, it's Jon Bellion, but it's oh my god, I forgot the name of it. It's something human.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's human, yeah.
It's a song called Human.
Yeah, he has this this acoustic cover where he just played on a piano.
Yeah.
It's acoustic cover on a piano, and for some reason I feel like this song is going to be like it could sound like this, because the song itself doesn't have that many rhymes to it, especially in the end. Like the end of the lines, sometimes it doesn't rhyme at all, but it sounds nice with just a piano or like just a sweet melody. So I think the song could work as well.
That's really, yeah.
You can check it out if she wants.
Oh. All right. Well, Lydia, if you're still watching this at some point in the future, you should go check out the acoustic version of Jon Bellion's Human, and that's also a really good song too. I'm glad that Salma suggested that. All right.
I gotta go.
Okay. See you, Rico. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
All right. Nate's going to be surprised by his own lyrics. That's great. All right. Song's name is Cold. Basically how lonely I feel, but especially at night, and how other things like depression and anxiety then continue to creep in slightly. Also, does it flow well? The message isn't exactly clear due to I want people to have to think about what I mean. If you think about the lyrics, can you get the idea? All right, let's take a look. One half of my bed is colder than the other, and as I hold onto my pillow, I remember my place in this dark little space. Now, I don't know what strangers see. I don't know where the stream leads. Of blood, I'd honestly stop if I could, but the farther I go, the harder I try running home. Back to the fire, back to light, where my eyes won't leave me tonight. The draft is colder tonight, but there's no more heat, no fire to light. I feel cold, cold, cold. I like that chorus. I think that's a really powerful way to end it. Verse 2, God, I feel anxious again. My pen is running out of ink. I think I need another day away. Somebody please talk to me. Some quality time would be nice. There's always a price to pay today. I'm not significant, but I leave my mark the love I lend. And now I've got to go away. Now I've got to go away. Chorus. Bridge. I haven't got a jacket. The warmth of a friendship, I lack it. I wish my lover would come sailing home to me. I'm so cold. Weary and defeated with my love and care depleted, I'm gone crawling back to bed. Very, very well. Hey, Jeremiah, thanks for coming. Have a good day, man. Very, very well developed, Nate. Or Nathan, sorry. You've got a lot of really like compelling images here. And I think you start off really strong with this image of my bed is one half of my bed is colder than the other. So it sounds like you're talking about loneliness partially in the context of a romantic relationship. There are a couple of line suggestions that I'll give you. Does it flow well? Yeah, and then a couple of lines. Let's see. So starting from the top, one half of my bed is colder than the other. As I hold into my pillow, I remember my place in this dark little space. Remember my place in this dark little space. I feel like that rhyme is too easy in some respects. Like I want it to be a little bit less of a perfect rhyme because you're in a less than perfect situation. Part of me wants it to feel just a little bit grungier since the situation is kind of grungy, but it's not bad either. I think that that's a fine thing to do. No, I don't know what strangers see. I don't know where the stream leads of blood. I should. I'd honestly stop if I could. The of blood, I think it's just confusing enough grammatically that I probably like read it through the first time and I was like, wait, what? Stream full of blood? And I think if you said, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to do something really dramatic like that, like, hey, there's a stream full of blood here. Part of me wants to see something come of it that's a little bit more, or I want to see like a little bit more development of it. Like, you know, we should see, I guess you do, but the farther I go, the harder I try running home. Yeah, but what does the blood have to do with it? Why is it blood? What's the significance here? So, and you know what? Like you were saying, you want people to have to think about what you mean. And so maybe that's a good opportunity for people to think it through, but that'll be one of the question marks they have. When my eyes won't leave me tonight, back to light when my eyes won't leave me tonight. The draft is colder tonight, but there's no more heat, no fire to light. I feel cold, cold, cold. I think the chorus is pretty cool. I actually really like it. The draft is colder tonight, but there's no more heat. But there's more heat. I want one syllable gone from there. But there's less heat, no fire to light. But there's no heat, no fire to light. And I think that would sound really cool. Get rid of that, the word more. Verse 2, God, I feel anxious again. My pen is running out of ink. I think I need another day away. Somebody please talk to me. Now this, the ink and the talk to me, I think, I know you've got like them and triplets here, your stanzas, but I think that these 4 lines together all are just really, really cool. So good job on that. And you also have the away and the today rhyming, so you've got some long-term rhyming. Oh, I think Nicola is saying things too. He says the chorus is good. I think he's got like a screen share on his. Let's see, he's typing more. What is Nicola saying? I don't know. All right. Wait, I'm gonna pull it up because this is kind of cool. Nicola, speak to us. I like it. The song. Yes, indeed. It is good. Thanks, Nicola. All right. Sorry if you've been typing things and I've been ignoring you the whole time. There's been like some like really incredible advice and we've just ignored it because we could barely see it. All right. Wait, he's saying more. That's just fine. That's just finima. That's just fine. All right, cool. Thanks for being cool about it, Nicola. You're cool. Especially your method of communication. We need to all pitch in to get Nicola on mic, everybody. Okay. Let's see. I'm not significant, but I leave my mark, the love I lend. Ooh, that's good. I like that. I leave my mark, the love I lend. I'm not significant. Those 2 lines right there are solid. But now I've got to go away. Now I've got to go away. Chorus, bridge. Okay, so one thing, the bridge, I did have a suggestion here because your whole song has not been focused on lyrical cleverness. And I felt like the jacket, I lack it, was an example of lyrical cleverness. And I was like, wait a second. No, what you're saying is so powerful. You don't need the lyrical cleverness to try to support it. And it almost was a little bit of like a surprise where I was like, wait, I wasn't expecting lyrical cleverness. So I think this is a really good opportunity to either save that rhyme for another song or perhaps just to focus in on like, all right, how do I really tell that story without distracting it by like the strength of the lyrics, which is kind of a weird way to look at it, but I think it's relevant here. I wish my lover would come sailing. Part of me wants to know a little bit more about this lover earlier. We hear this reference to them in the bed, and then I don't think we really hear much about him again, because you have like somebody, please come talk to me, please talk to me. So it feels like anybody would do, but now there's like this specific person. And so that's something that could either be developed or dropped or something, you know. All right, we're defeated with my love and care depleted. I've gone crawling back to bed. And I love how you bring it back full circle to the beginning. I think tying in the intro and the outro like that, super solid. And it's something that I think shows a care and a craft and a skill. So good work, Nathan, as always, good work, good work. Hopefully those are some suggestions that'll be helpful to you moving forward. And if anybody wants to say anything, feel free, but no pressure. Pull up our next lyricist here. All right, so this one is from Sophia, who is actually, I think she took a little break for a little while and is back to the Patreon. So welcome back, Sophia. Glad that you're here. Sophia's song is called Marina, and I'm a big fan of Marina and the Diamonds. So if all things called Marina are good, I'm sure this will be great. I went to a hospital to visit someone who the world might consider close to me since we're related. We are not close, and the person didn't really appreciate my presence. While I was there, I caught eyes with an old woman who had no visitors. As I approached her, a nurse told me not to take her seriously because they think she's crazy. I ended up speaking with her for a very long time. I didn't believe she's crazy at all. She just spoke to me about her life. There was really nothing special. I ended up being the only person who came to visit her for however long I was there. I know that I made her day. Oh, that's really, really awesome. And I'm guessing that means that her name is probably Marina. I want to know what part of the story is confusing or not clear, and any other advice and critiques you have for me. Also, thanks to everyone who commented on my post in the Facebook group and gave me advice. I really appreciated that. Good on you guys. Way to be such great people. Way to be so cool. All right. So things that are unclear and general advice. Gotcha. All right. So the halls here don't seem common, and if there were a list of popular patients, I guess you're at the bottom. Ooh, I like that. Because when I made eye contact with you, your face turned foreign. That gave me the idea that you don't get visited very often. You must know what it's like to be forgotten. But then again, I might be judging too soon. And even though I was there to see someone else, I felt drawn to you. Ooh, you're telling the story really, really well. We can tell it's a hospital. We can tell that you see somebody who doesn't seem very popular. There's a couple of lines here that I think are too long, and you could probably cut down the syllables, probably like this one right here. And then I guess the soon and the you rhyme, but this line particularly, like everything else flowed really smoothly. For some reason, I felt like this line stood out just a little bit for being a little bit less smooth. But then again, I might be judging too soon. And I think it's the word judging. I think I don't like in this context the word judging because everything else has been a little bit sharper or smoother. And judging is kind of a squishy word. And I feel like it slows things down for a moment. I don't know if this is the technical term for what this word is doing, but hey, it's what you get. So I would pick a little bit of a quicker word, but then again, I might have judged too soon. No, that's a little bit better, but then again,
maybe should use like speaking or talking too soon. Like
yeah, but maybe I've spoken too soon. That could work, and that's a lot more of a sharp word. I'm gonna look up synonyms for judging. That's a good one for sure. Maybe I've decided too soon. Maybe I've concluded too soon. Yeah, there's some options out there. Walking to you and the fluorescent lights flicker where your frail body lay. There's nothing interesting about you. I like the honesty there. I feel like some people would be afraid to just out and out say that, but like you're literally saying what is obvious. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do now. Very easy for me to walk away, but I'll stay and think of something to say. I'll start with a name. I like that. That is really cool. Tell me stories from your youth. Did the moon shine differently upon you? Were you one to drift by or decide your path and take your strides? Are you one to blame others for your failures? Did you live for yourself or did you believe in some kind of savior? I want to hear, I want to know. I know you're saying despite what they say. I think that all of these questions on their own are really solid, and I think that adding this to cap it off, this part, I know that like that part just doesn't feel as like relevant to what's happening in this stanza. And I think that that would work better in a different stanza. I really like these questions, and if there was a way to either pick like a couple of favorite ones or to shorten the word count a little bit, I would say that this would make a really, really good pre-chorus. If you haven't already picked it, which it doesn't look like you've organized things into stanzas just yet, but I think that's got a lot of potential either as a pre-chorus or as a chorus, but it's well written and I think it bears repeating. Teach me a lesson. Hopefully you can impart some of your knowledge into me. I want to hear your memories as far back as you can see. Show me the oceans and skies behind your eyes. You're from what people call a simpler time. Maybe you could teach me your ways, show me how to calm my mind, which is constantly sounding like wind chime. I can overhear the nurses who have a lot to say about you in the near corner, but I can't help but wonder how you got here. My mother is calling to me, let me know it's time to go. I know I missed my visit with someone who didn't care for my presence, but seeing you smile was worth it. And I still don't know how you got here. I don't even know when you're leaving, but I must say that I really enjoyed our time speaking. Nice, nice. I think, first of all, that's a really cool thing for you to go and do, Sophia. And I'm sure that that really did make that person's day. So I think that that's really awesome. I'm glad that you have that kind of a heart for other people, especially those who are forgotten by others. I particularly absolutely love the first stanza. It tells the story clearly, common, bottom, foreign, forgotten. You've got some really good rhymes in there. It's really well done. Part of what I would give you as a suggestion, just conceptually, is with the last half of the song, starting with "Tell me stories from your youth" and moving on. You ask a lot of questions, and you're kind of talking about your experience with this person. And I think the one thing that we might be missing here is I would really love to hear what she said back. You describe her, you do a really good job of giving her that attention. But part of me would really like to hear what her answers are to some of your questions. Like, what does she have to say? And let her story speak for itself to an extent, you know? And maybe that would make a good bridge. Maybe that could be a follow-up in a verse or something, verse 2 or the outro or who knows what. Maybe these questions are a pre-chorus and her talking back as the chorus. That is not something that you have to do. Your song is great as is. But I think that you ask these questions and you talk about your side of the experience. I'd like to hear a little bit more and go deeper into that and hear what she had to say. That is the first step of advice. So yeah, I do not think that the story is confusing. I think it is very clear. That is kind of the other advice and critiques that I have. And I think that you're off to a really, really good start. I would say that this one right here feels a little bit choppy. And I think that if you got rid of that, we probably wouldn't notice, or it wouldn't leave like a hole in the story, which means that maybe it's an opportunity to replace, or maybe it's something you want to buff up because you really care about that part. But hopefully that's helpful. I really like this line right here, constantly sounding like a wind chime. Calm my mind, which is constantly sounding like a wind chime. I really like that, and how you go and like ask her for help. It rhymes with simpler time. There's some really good stuff here. So yeah, that's my advice for you overall. I know you're not here, so if you have any questions in the future, just let us know in the Facebook group, and keep up the good work. Salma, did you have any thoughts?
Actually, I really like the song, and I love the stanza where her mum is calling and she has to go. It felt like a bit bittersweet, and it feels like I don't know, just like again she's back to this room in the hospital for some reason. But yeah, the only thing that I'd say is actually one of your tips that you always tell us about, which is the 10% rule or thing.
The 10%.
So yeah. So she could like have a bit of like just delete a bit, like some repetitions of words that like there isn't any repetitions, but some lines could be shortened a bit because the lines are, to me, I think they're just a bit too long.
Nicola agrees with you. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. I'm glad you mentioned that. And Sophia, I don't know how much you've heard, but essentially or how much you've heard of me talking about this in the past, but the 10% rule is that generally in the editing process for any project, if you go back and delete 10%, your song will just automatically be better. And it's a question of like whether you want the really good stuff to be, you want to just have, oh, I don't know. I'm getting tired. It's getting harder to explain things. But it's better to have a few really strong things than a lot of like medium strong things. And that's a good way to make a song more powerful. So if you go through this and you've got 344 words, if you ended this and you had approximately 300 or 310 words, chances are it would just kind of automatically be a little bit more powerful. And then you can add more and then take 10% from whatever you add. But yeah, that's really good advice, Salma. Thanks. All right, next up. See you, Nathan. Next up, we have Colby. We only have two more. We have two more. Who all is still here in the chat? Because we've got Katie, we've got Nicola, we got Salma. And you three might be the only ones if you also have the YouTube page pulled up, but there might even be a couple of people out there still. So,
yeah, I have the YouTube page pulled up because
okay.
Yeah, reading the comments and
Nicolai, Nicolari, Nicolay. With a strong R. Nicolari. Oh man, I swear we're gonna get you that mic. The A is like R. Oh, Nicolari. All right, cool. I am going to apologize right now because I'll probably forget that in the future, and I'm so sorry. But just tell me again, and we'll make it happen. I figure something. Nope, I don't. I don't figure anything. All right. Well, anyway, thanks, Nicolari. And sorry about the name pronunciation. Wait, he's back. He's back. I'll teach you in the Discord. Okay, good. That's perfect. Thanks. Okay, cool.
I've tried to look it up, and it said Nikolai.
Nikolai, wow.
Okay, he says yes.
Nicolari, okay. Oh wait, Nikolai to you? Okay. Nikolai? That's crazy. All right. You caused me to retreat into my sweatshirt out of sheer shock and amazement.
It's Danish. It's a Danish name.
Ah, the Dane.
I've seen like someone. Yes, it's a Danish name. Cool.
All right. Wait, okay, so confirm once and for all. Am I saying it better on number 1 or number 2? Number 1 is Nikolai. Number 2 is Nicolari. 1, Nikolai. Okay, cool. Wow, we really use letters differently. Cool. Nikolai is a really cool name. That is really cool. I'm gonna name one of my children Nikolai after you. I'll name the other one Salma.
Oh.
Aw, okay. I don't think I've ever had a conversation like this before, and it is wonderful.
I mean, people will be so confused. Like Salma and Nikolai. Like,
why did you name your children Salma and Nikolai? Well, it's because of people I met on the internet. They'll be like, what? Well, this kid's name is Shrek, and this one is Jack's Films. There's our 4 children. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so 2 more songs to go. Stay strong, people. We got this. We're the only ones left. We're
Oh, God.
surviving to the end. I'm naming my 5th child PewDiePie, by the way. All right. Colby. Colby's song is favorite curse. The song is a personal one about a previous relationship that was very mentally abusive. It went on for 7 years. So this was me writing from that old perspective. And then he says, whenever I show people my lyrics, they always say this is their favorite, but to me, it's the least favorite song I ever wrote. I'm hoping maybe I can see in a different light with this. Okay. So looking for a little bit of suggestions and a little bit of kind of just, hey, if we do like it, we should tell them why. All right, run away, but I can't. I'll keep running back to this madness, even when it isn't kindness you grant. I know I deserve this sadness. You've become an addictive poison. This is the life I've chosen. Make me see only you. Make me believe things untrue. I've given up my common sense, choosing someone always so tense. I know I will always be with you still. You won't stop even if I wish you will. No, this isn't love, but for me, it's enough. I know this will continue getting worse. You are my favorite curse. I love that concept. I love that little phrase right there. No, they don't see what I see, because without you, I'm doomed to be lonely. At least that's what you have me believe. You're sent from above in the lie you weave. Tongue so sharp it's a knife, cut me open, fill me with lies, make me only see you, make me believe things untrue. I've given up my common sense, etc., etc. I say goodbye to a life I'll never know, a better one, but you won't let me go. I'm trapped in your web. Some days I'd rather just be dead. Can't you see what this does to me? So self-absorbed, everyone can see that you make me see only you, making me believe things untrue. Okay, so if I had to guess as to why people like this song so much, it's because it is very, very tight. You have done an excellent job with, in many cases, I'm not going to say that, you know, maybe there's a situation I'm missing, but you've done a very good job of keeping the rhythms tight. The rhymes are really strong. Poison, chosen, can't, grant, madness, sadness. Everything feels very intentional, very methodically placed. And thus it is a very easy song to get into. People don't have to think too hard to figure out what kind of cool, interesting, or lazy thing you're doing, because you've put a lot of work into this to really serve your listener and make it something that comes across quickly. So good work on that. And then also, You Are My Favorite Curse is just, it's a, you know, there's earworms, like there's a melody that gets stuck in people's heads, and then there's like really good lyrics that get stuck in people's heads. Well, this is an idea worm. This is like You Are My Favorite Curse is just a concept that I want to think about, and it makes me think. So if I had to guess as to why people really like this, it's because it's very tightly and carefully put together, and it's got a really interesting concept at the end of the chorus. And not to mention that you kind of punch people at the end of the chorus. You're like, I know this will continue getting worse. You are my favorite curse. And all of a sudden things get very serious, and you're like, whoa, that's really awesome. So good work on all of that. I think that is probably a large part of why people, because they get connected with it quickly, and then when they do get connected, there's a big payoff at the end of the chorus. If I was to give suggestions, I think of some of the things I saw that I would suggest would be kind of like line by line sort of stuff. Run away, but I can't. I'll keep running back to this madness, even when it isn't kindness you grant. I know I deserve this sadness. Part of me wants to like see this, like literally, like what does this look like? What's the word picture here? Just because I don't know what madness you're talking about, or what the kindness is, or what the sadness looks like. Like, don't show, no, do show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. Basically, if you go back and watch, there's a Billie Eilish deconstructed video I did on the channel. I think that'll be one that'll have some really good advice. But just, you know, show us what this looks like. It's not necessarily you have to have all these images and metaphors or whatever, but like, what does sadness look and feel like? Don't just tell us there's sadness. You become an addictive poison. I think that's a powerful image right there. This is the life I've chosen. Make me see only you. Make me believe things untrue. And then we get into the chorus. I've given up common sense, choosing someone always so tense. You know, I'll always be with you still. You won't stop even if I wish you will. No, this isn't love, but for me, it's enough. I think it does a good job of getting the theme across as a chorus. You know, they don't see what I see, because without you, I'm doomed to be lonely. I like that. At least that's what you had me believe. You sent from above in the lie you weave. That last line is confusing to me. You're sent from above. Usually that's a good thing, but then it's a lie you weave. Maybe you intend that, but I'm still confused. I have this image of angels and spiders, like an angel spider at this point. Maybe that's a song idea. Maybe I need to go write this song, The Angel Spider. But yeah, so that line's a little bit confusing for me, or just a little bit kind of like, hey, what's going on here? Tongue so sharp it's a knife, cut me open, fill me with lies. I like that. Even if it is a little bit of a common image, I think you pull it off well. Make me only see you, make me believe things untrue. I'll say goodbye to a life I'll never know, a better one, but you won't let me go. I'm trapped in your web. Ah, there's the spider imagery coming back. I like that. I like the consistency there. That's really good. Some days I'd rather just be dead. This feels, again, I would want to show this. I would not want to just like put it out there. Like I'd want to like describe this or show something that communicates this without saying it. Can't you see that what this does to me? So self-absorbed, everyone can see that you make me see, only you make me believe things untrue. Yeah. Overall, Colby, you've got a pretty good song here. I would love to, and we'll continue looking at more of your stuff and seeing what you're into. You were saying that when people say that, they always say it's my favorite. I don't have a song in mind right now necessarily of yours where I could compare and say like which one's my favorite or not. But I definitely understand why people are saying that. So good work. Keep it up. And let me know if you have any questions. Salma, what did you think? Did you have any thoughts?
No, actually, you said it all, to be honest.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I tend to do that. Oh, guys, I'm so tired at this point. Oh, wait, what did Nikolai say? In my opinion, maybe change something with the will still rhyme. Let's see. Oh, there's more. Will doesn't seem like one of the strong words you sometimes talk about. Oh, okay. Let's see. I will always be with you still. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I will always be with you still. Yeah, you could show us that, but I'll be with you still. You could shorten it, or I'll fight for you still, or something. You could just get a little bit deeper into what that means. Thanks, Nikolai. All right. Oh, this is a short one. Whoa. It is Jessica's turn. Finally, Jessica, you're here. Last but not least. Not gone and not forgotten. I'm at that point, guys, where I'm just starting to get like kind of loopy. So if any of my jokes sound really stupid or I sound really stupid, that's what critiquing song lyrics for 2.5 hours will do to you. I recommend it, but also bring some water. All right. Jessica's song is called Save Yourself. I was struggling with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And after Harvey, those struggles were magnified. And quite a bit of poetry was born in that time period. This is a very, very rough draft of lyrics born from some of those poems and journal entries. And then she's asking, make sure it's not cheesy and that the lyrics flow and are relatable to other people. All right. So Salma, I'll give you priority on this one, and Nikolai too. And I won't say anything in case you guys want to say something.
Uh-oh.
But no pressure. No pressure. I don't want to take all the glory. I am poison. I am bad news. I will self-destruct. I always do. I like that. Wow. It's obviously very sad, and I'm really sorry to hear about a lot of those struggles that you went through, Jessica, but you say that really well. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say anything. Broken and lost, you can't afford what saving me would cost. I am a bomb ready to implode. The fuse was lit a long time ago. Do yourself a favor and just let me go. Save yourself. I'm unsavable. There's darkness in my soul. You can see it in my eyes. There's a gaping hole. You are too good for me. Don't get swallowed by this angry sea. Whoa.
Yeah. Nikolai is saying, I like that she uses implode instead of an ordinary word like explode.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially because imploding kind of suggests like falling in on yourself. And so there wouldn't be a lot of collateral damage outside of her, but it would totally destroy her.
Yeah. I really like the line where she says, you can't afford what saving me would cost. Because, oh God, I just feel this so much. Like,
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, when someone feels so, as she's saying, unsavable or something, like a lost cause is like when someone says like I can help you, like we love you and whatnot, and stay here for us. Like it feels sometimes like you can't afford the cost of saving me because it might like as she's saying, don't get swallowed by this angry sea. Like sometimes you feel so angry or so destroyed and just so gone that you don't want to hurt others. So yeah, there are like really good lines here, but yeah, it's too short, and I think like it needs just to be like filled.
Yeah, Nikolai said good word use and is now saying it seems like a work in progress. And I think that goes along with what you're saying with it being short.
Yeah.
I think that it's got super strong sound correlation. I am poison, I am bad news, I will self-destruct, I always do. Sounds like it just, that's a mind-blowing 4 lines right there. Like that's really good. And then the do yourself a favor and just let me go. Save yourself, I'm unsavable. Just let me go, I'm unsavable. Like there's some really subtle assonance there, and that is really good.
Yeah.
And
like the imagery of the bomb that the fuse was lit a long time ago, it gives you this feeling of like she's so over it, or she's just so gone.
Yeah.
It really hurts me because I'm sorry that she's feeling this way. But I hope that she could like work things out by writing this song.
Yeah, and thankfully she was saying, she was kind of talking in the past tense when she talked about it, so hopefully things are a lot better for her now. Nikolai says, cost is a good word, I think, to end the first verse on. Agreed. Yeah, it really makes it feel complete. Broken and lost, you can't afford what saving me would cost. Yeah, that is true. All right. So the other suggestion I would give, she was asking about whether something came across as cheesy. The lyrics, as you can see, definitely relatable. The lyrics do flow really well. So finally, as far as cheesiness goes, I would say that if anything gets cheesy, I don't think the first verse or the chorus are at all. Maybe this last stanza is. I felt like you started off with a really solid idea, and then you were starting to get intimidated by how good your lyrics were. And so you were like, all right, well, I'm just going to try to just write what I think at first. And I think that it turned out fairly well, but the darkness in my soul, I'd like to hear, usually you can defeat a cliche by describing it a little bit better. The gaping hole maybe is a little bit on the cheesy side, but I would just say that probably lines 1 and 3 right here are just a little bit, there's a lot to it. And so I would like to see maybe it, can you just tone it down a little bit? And I think that would come across really, really well. Nikolai says, oh yeah, go ahead. Or Nikolai says, you are too good to me. Maybe a little cliche like.
Yeah, I was going to mention this because you're too good you're too good for me. Sounds like she's talking to like a lover or a partner or someone, and I don't think that like all of the other lines feel like she's talking about how she's bad, or how she's like destroyed, and how she's just gone, and it doesn't feel right to be like talking to someone else. Like because you're good, or you're too good. I don't know, it doesn't feel like, apart from it being cheesy, it just doesn't feel like right in the context of it.
Yeah, a little bit less consistent story wise.
Yeah.
So I think the moral of all of this, Jessica, is the first 2 stanzas absolutely incredible, really, really good. And then the third stanza needs to be tweaked a little bit, continue to develop, and then the final takeaway is freaking heck, write more of this, because this is really good. You've got an obvious talent, and we want to hear more. So yeah, good work. Good work. And Nikolai and Salma, thank you guys for all of your help suggesting and talking and for being here for so long too, especially you, Salma. You've been here since like the beginning today.
Right.
You're the coolest. You really are.
Thank you.
And Nikolai, you're pretty cool too, especially for your perseverance in typing all of this.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you're welcome. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go prep for. We got that live stream quiz on the main channel in 25 minutes. So I actually better go get to it. So thanks for hanging out. See ya, Nikolai. Thanks, Salma. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.